Yankees Red Sox on NESN is brought to you by Amtrak. Enjoy comfortable and convenient travel from Boston and save up to 25% when you book 14 days in advance. And on a Sunday afternoon at Fenway, the Sox and Yankees wrap up their latest series. Another one coming up in 2 weeks, but the winner of this one takes the series. The Sox come into the day with a 4-game lead over New York with 40 games to play. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope you enjoyed the ceremony celebrating 30 years of Jerry Remy on NESN. And one of the fill-in guys, the guy today that we're delighted to have with us, Jared Saltalamacchia, the former Red Sox world champion catcher. In the interest of time, it'll be salty for the rest of the day, if you don't mind.
That's fine with me.
Great to have you with us.
I'm excited to be here, and I'm honored to fill in for Remy. I mean, this is definitely a different view for me, but I'm very excited and, like I said, honored to fill in.
Yeah, you're used to that view from behind the plate.
Not this high, though.
Not this high, but salty with us throughout the day. And the Rem Dog will be joining us as well early in the broadcast of the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Quite a ceremony on the field. Very emotional for quite a few of us. Rick Porcello on the bump here today. First pitch just around the corner as we finish up the series before the Red Sox take to the road in a big 4-game series in Cleveland. And the Rem Dog joins us in just a little bit. Here's a look at the Yankee lineup now. It's brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Brett Gardner will lead it off. Aaron Hicks is in center. Aaron Judge in right. Gregorius the shortstop. Sanchez does the catching for the second day in a row. Headley is at first. Frazier at third. Austin the DH. And Torreyes at second base. Facing the Red Sox starter presented by New England Audi dealers. Rick Porcello, 7-14, a 4.59 ERA. Got the win and some runs in his last start. 10-4 over St. Louis. And the first one on the way from Rick is downstairs, ball one, and we are underway. Gardner at 253, 19 homers, and he's driven in 51 runs. And a 1-0 is up and away, and it strikes me, Salty, you've faced both of the guys who are pitching today.
Yes, I've faced them both. Last year I faced a Cy Young pitcher. I can at least say that when he got me out, he won the Cy Young. So the best got me out.
So you feel better about that.
I feel a lot better about myself.
Yeah, you're doing 0 for 3, but hey, he won the Cy. Moreland off the bag. Porcello gets there in time. Well timed for the out, even though a dive by Gardner. He comes up short. One man gone.
It's junior announcer day. So here's Levi from Northampton, Mass. with the Red Sox defense, brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
Mr. Saltalamacchia. Here's today's Red Sox defense. Rafael Devers is at third, Sander Bogarts at shortstop, Brock Holt at second, and at first is Mitch Moreland. Andrew Benintendi is in left field, Jackie Bradley Jr. in center, Mookie Betts is in right, and Sandy Leon is doing the catching for Rick Porcello.
Levi did exactly what I did when I used to pronounce your name. I paced myself all through it. You know, hit all those syllables.
Well, I had to learn a song in order to kind of spell my name. So, but that was a great play by Porcello. I don't know, going back to that, to him knowing the fast runners up at the plate, being able to get off the mound that quickly and get over there. It's great. Hope kids are watching.
I think showing some athleticism of his own there.
Well, you know, pitchers think they're athletes. And every once in a while, you got to let them know that they may not be always.
Moreland getting off the bag quickly and a nice lead.
Get his legs loose early in the game.
Yeah. One down for Hicks. 270 with 12 home runs. He just did something that I find fascinating. The pitch, it was a curveball that almost hit him. And you made an audible sound. You're like, ooh, ooh. Did you do that when you were behind the plate?
Yeah, you know, my focus behind the plate, honestly, when a ball like that with a 1-0 count, 2-0 count, if it wasn't a 2-strike count situation, I tried to block the ball so it wouldn't hit the umpire. Because ultimately you want to protect that guy because you're hoping later in the game he gives you that ball a little bit off the plate that can help you get the win.
All umpires?
Yeah, all umpires. They're all equal. They're all human. So you know, I try and protect as much as possible.
There may be days where you didn't think, you know, quite so much that was the case, but
there's definitely some days. But you know, like I said, this is not an easy sport. It's not an easy game, and they have a tough job as well.
2-2 swung on and missed, and another big breaking ball to strike out Hicks, and there are two gone. Well, where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit Compare2Toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV. A nice big breaking ball, and would have been a strike anyway.
Would have been a strike anyways. He took enough off of it. You can tell he was a little bit out in front. Wasn't expecting it. You know.
Here's Judge with a high fly ball to center field. Backing up though, Jackie Bradley to the track. And a very quick start for Rick Porcello. He gets him 1-2-3. Sox coming up here in the first inning against the Yankees. Here's Magnolia from Northampton, Mass. with the Red Sox lineup, brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
Thanks, Mr. O'Brien. Here's today's Red Sox lineup. Leading off at second base, Brock Holt. In right field, Mookie Betts. In left, Andrew Benintendi. The DH, Hanley Ramirez. At third base, Rafael Devers. The shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. At first base, Mitch Moreland. The catcher, Sandy Leone. In center field, Jackie Bradley Jr.
Beautiful name too, Magnolia. Thank you very much. Red Sox are facing the right-hander Sonny Gray, 7-7, a 3.37 ERA. And Salty, when you faced him, What were you looking for?
I'd say I always try and look at the pitcher's strengths. And Sonny Gray's obviously got a really good fastball, real hard slider. It's real sharp. So, my idea was to try and get a fastball up over the plate and try and get something early that I could not try and do too much with, but get on base somehow with my speed, obviously.
With your blinding speed.
Blinding speed. Didn't even know I was moving.
Brock Holt takes a strike. 192, no homers, 3 runs batted in. Caught stealing in the 9th inning last night. A lot of people were talking about that later. Sanchez actually made an outstanding throw, and he's back behind the plate here this afternoon.
That was a great throw. That's something he's definitely mastered at a young age. That's a tough thing to do. A guy that size to be able to stay low and quick. He's throwing it from his knees on a line. Probably harder than the pitcher's throwing it to him at times.
Gray making his 4th start with the Yankees since the trade from Oakland. He's gone 1 and 2 so far for New York.
Glad to see Brock Holt back in there again. I know he's had a rough year and dealing with some injuries, so I'm glad to see him.
Fighting his way through that vertigo, which can be so nasty, and it's ended careers.
Yes, it has.
So tough to diagnose, where it comes from, how it happens. Of course, he has had a couple of concussions too. Here comes the 2-1. And that's a strike.
Good pitch on the corner. Seems like he's staying away from him.
Gray faced the Red Sox earlier this season in Oakland on May 18th. He got the win. Solid outing. 6 innings, 3 earned, 4 hits. He struck out 8. And his 2-2 to Brock. In play. Frazier on the move to get him, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, the Yankees defense, third base, Frazier. We got Didi Gregorius at shortstop, Torreyes second base, and Headley at first. Got Gardner with his gold glove out there in left. You got Hicks with a great arm in center, and Judge in right field. Gray on the mound, obviously, and Sanchez a quick turnaround, day game after a night game.
We'll send up Mookie Betts, 267 with 18 homers for Mookie. 1 gone for the Red Sox. You talk about the quick turnaround. You go from a night game to a day game, so your preparation time is very limited, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you can't forget much because it was about 8 hours ago these guys were at the park and heading back to the hotel. But it is definitely a quick turnaround. Young player like himself, I'm sure his body kind of recovers a little quicker than some of us older guys. But I enjoyed catching day games after a night game. It almost helped me relax a little bit. I wasn't trying to do too much. I felt like the weaker I felt, the better I played. I didn't try and do too much.
No kidding.
I might be the only one that thinks that way, but
got to make sure you hydrate.
You definitely hydrate, and we had some great trainers in the clubhouse that was able to give us some IVs if we needed it as well.
1-1 on the way. And how often did that happen where you went to an IV? You actually got hooked up.
You know what? I actually started getting pretty religious with it. I would do it, at least every series. It started when I was in Texas playing. I mean, it's 136 degrees on the field.
Oh yeah.
Those day games. I remember when I got called up with the Red Sox, my first game. It was 127 on the field, I believe. It was probably one of the hottest days I've ever been a part of, and it's like, hey, welcome to the Red Sox.
127.
And I think, Daisuke was on the mound as well. I mean, we know how fast he liked to work. And
right. All those 3-2 counts.
Yes, definitely.
You like the 3-2, which we found out later is like the moment of honor in Japan for the pitcher and the batter. 3-2 is not only common, it happens every single time.
Really?
1-2 downstairs. And he lived up to that.
He definitely did. He never gave in, though. I tell you what, I enjoyed playing with him. He came to the ballpark prepared. He was smiling even on his start days. He worked hard, and it was a joy.
2-2 on Mookie Betts with Benintendi on deck. No score here in the first inning. And fouled away. How about a potential problem with language? I mean, you're talking about Daisuke and catching his starts. How tough was that language barrier?
He actually spoke pretty well pretty good English. He was able to understand what I was saying, and I learned a few words that I've forgotten by now. But he understood what we were trying to do and our approach, and if you needed, you had the translator there as well.
2-2 to Mookie. And that just missed. Good take there for ball 3. When Daisuke was with the Red Sox, he very rarely spoke English outside of the clubhouse. Every once in a while, a couple of phrases. But it's interesting that a lot of Japanese pitchers will come to play in the United States and actually speak English pretty well.
Yes.
Ichiro was one of those guys.
Ichiro played with him as well, and he spoke it really, really well.
The 3-2. Line shot, and they're playing him up the middle, and Torreyes grabs that and throws out Betts. 2 up and 2 down. Here are the umpires now. They're brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Lance Barksdale has the plate. Shane Liversparger is the umpire at second base. Iasaga at second base, and Trip Gibson makes the calls at third. And here comes Benintendi.
Another thing that makes Sonny so successful and so tough to hit is if you watch his delivery, he's real slow, he's real deliberate, and then all of a sudden it just kind of pops out at you. And as a hitter, it can kind of dull you to sleep, and then all of a sudden this hard fastball comes, flying at you, and it can mess your timing up a little bit.
Benintendi snapped a career-long 11-game hitting streak last night, going 0 for 4. He batted .421 during the life of the streak. Jared Saltalamacchia, Salty, with us today. Jerry Remy will be joining us in just a little bit. Remdog has a press conference. The assembled media interviewing Jerry after the pregame ceremony celebrating 30 years. The one thing he was really looking forward to, I know, was to congratulate and thank all of the people he has worked with, the guys behind the scenes, the men and women behind the scenes in our trucks, and our tremendous camera people, and our marvelous director Mike Narachi, and some of these folks you never get a chance to see, who are brilliant at what they do. And it's just like Jerry to make sure that he mentioned all of them. The 2-1 and a liner for a base hit to left field. He goes the other way. So Benintendi starting a new hitting streak today. Takes a big turn, but back to first.
That's a great piece of hitting. You're ahead in the count, you're looking for something to drive, and you get a fastball away and you just shoot it the other way. Wish I could have done more of that.
I think we're going to be seeing this for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And that beautiful swing.
All these young players, they look so comfortable up there, and I know how nerve-wracking it was when you first come up, and especially in this atmosphere, and these guys make it look so easy.
Hanley the DH today, 248 with 18 home runs. Talking about feeling comfortable. That young man on deck.
Oh.
Rafael Devers. And it's just not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to show a little bit of nerves and anxiety. I mean, just a little.
You would think. I had a chance to talk with him, and he's not a man of many words, which is exactly how he plays. He just goes out there and does his business. He's not worried about any kind of personal goals. Last night they were asking him about his home run, and he went straight to the team. Fought back as hard as we could. We couldn't win it, but we fought as a team, and that's what I'm happy to see.
Benintendi on with 2 down, and the fastball in there for a strike. Jerry will be with us the next half inning here at Fenway. So great to see him back, and I'm going to tell you this: it was emotional for all of us in the Nesson family to see him back on the diamond.
I'm definitely excited to see him. It's been about a year or two.
2 balls and 1 strike. Red Sox with a 4-game lead over these Yankees. This has certainly become a 2-horse race in the AL East. There was a lot of predictions as the season got underway that Baltimore would be in there, Toronto, maybe Tampa Bay, and the Rays hung in there for a while, but now the gap has opened up.
It is, but that wild card race is still wide open as well.
Oh, it sure is.
And with the 2 wild card system,
Fly ball into right field. Judge under this one. And that will retire the side. The Rem Dog is back when we return to Fenway Park. He loves that TV. That big screen made his day. No score after one. Presented by Foxwoods Resort Casino, the official resort casino of the Boston Red Sox, and by Toyota's official website for deals. Buyatoyota.com. I can't tell you how happy we are to have the Rem Dog back in the booth, back at Fenway Park, where he belongs. First of all, congratulations on your day. Wonderful job there with the ceremony. And terrific job collecting that big screen.
My wife was digging in her heels. She wouldn't let me get one. That's why.
that was terrific stuff.
We got a wedding coming up in November, so she's counting every penny. So I couldn't get my big screen. Now I got it.
Now you got it.
So I'm all set for the World Series, and I'm all set for the Patriot season.
Little end run there.
Yeah.
Very well done. That's right. Your daughter's getting married as well. So this is a fascinating year for you, and the outpouring of support for you has just been incredible, with all of the letters and the cards and the well wishes. And I know you can't answer all of them, but can you talk for a moment, because everyone wants to hear this, about how you feel and what is the next step for you in your battle against cancer?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good right now. You know, I had surgery at the end of June, and that kind of put me on the table for, I would say, well, a good 7 weeks, you know, before I started to feel pretty good again. And the next step for me is Tuesday. We begin chemotherapy at Mass General. And that's the next step. It'll be 4 cycles of chemotherapy once every 3 weeks. And, you know, hopefully, well, not hopefully, I'm confident that that's going to do the job. And, you know, I was so happy to have my doctors on the field. They're the people that really have been taking care of me for the last 8 or 9 years. So, you know, I'm in the best hands in the world, so I've got to have total confidence.
Fouled away here by Gregorius. You've never done this before, the chemotherapy.
No. I've had surgery once, 2 times radiation, then surgery this last time, and now the chemotherapy for the first time. But, you know, many people have been through it. You guys went through the Jimmy Fund thing this week. You saw some incredible stories.
Right.
I want to be one of those incredible stories.
And you will be. And I know fans are so looking forward to you coming back to work, but the first thing, and you and I have talked about it several times, it's about your health.
Yep.
And getting back to feeling great again in order to be able to do the job you love so much.
You're exactly right. And, you know, it's unfair to the company for me to go through chemotherapy and say, Oh, I feel pretty good today, so I'm going to come into work today. It's not right. And, they've got to make a schedule. So the best thing to do, we all agreed, was take the remainder of the season off and come back next year healthy, be here for opening day. And as I said on the field, hopefully see another banner raising. You've been watching it. It's been incredible the way they've been playing, and a lot of these late inning wins, and it's been great.
These come from behind victories, and when you do it against the Yankees, it's really sweet. But they've been doing it against so many people, and 9 walk-off wins already, and it feels like a regular thing. Like you're going to see a couple of them every week. I thought for sure last night it was going to happen again. Fell a little bit short last night, and this kid, Devers, and I know you've already fallen in love with him, but when you get a chance to see him swing the bat every day, as a fellow left-hander, I mean, he should be nervous, Jerry. He should be anxious. Not a sign of that.
Yeah, it's Dave. I was telling the reporters outside, it's incredible, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but since I've had surgery, I've not seen a pitch in a game, and the reason for that is when I'm not working, I just feel absolutely guilty that I'm not working, and it's hard for me to sit there and watch the game. So I kind of follow it on the phone. I kind of follow the score, what's going on. I see they're down, then they come back and they win the game, and I read about Devers, and so I like I said, I don't want people to take it the wrong way. Like I've lost interest in the club. I have not.
Oh, I know.
It's just hard for me to sit back when I'm supposed to be working, not working.
Yeah. And I know how closely you still follow the team. On a high, deep drive into left center. Benintendi back, so is Bradley, and that's going to catch some tin and into second base Headley, as he'll slide in with a double with 2 down off of Rick Porcello.
It's like kind of surprised him a little bit out there, didn't it, Dave? I thought that Benintendi may have had a shot at that, but right at the bottom of the wall, and the 2-out double to get a man and score. See, you don't forget. You just keep doing it,
You slide right in, man. This is ridiculous. I mean, it's like no rust with you.
How you doing? That's the big question.
It's been interesting.
It has been. It's been. I apologize to you
because
no.
Don't even.
I get sick, and you got
kidding me?
People everywhere, and it takes a professional to be able to handle that.
It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure, and I'm like you. I love being here. I love sitting here broadcasting Red Sox baseball. It's what I live for too. I expected to have you here every day and every night, and that's certainly my expectation, moving forward for next year. But X done a great job, and Salty's doing terrific. We've had Johnny Gomes, we've had Bogsy, and we've had a lot of different guys. Mike Timlin has done it, and I think there's going to be more until you come back. So just get well and come back.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Frazier with a runner at second base as we chat with the Rem Dog here. And I think you can admit to this. I mean, you're nervous about the next step.
Oh, absolutely.
Anybody would be.
Something I haven't gone through yet. I must say, comfort is there from the doctors. You talk to them. I've talked to John Farrell on a number of occasions. I've talked to a lot of people who have had it, and I feel much better about it going into it than I did, say, a year ago. I got a pretty good idea what to expect. It's different for all people. But you look, the time is here. It's let's go. Let's get this done. Let's get it over with, and let's get it out of my system, because I have absolutely had enough of this over the last 8 years.
And you were saying that weeks and weeks ago, before anybody knew what was about to come. You wanted to attack it. You wanted to fight it. You wanted to beat it. Which is your personality.
Right. That's. I mean, me. I got to go after things. I can't. I just can't sit back. And in this case, you have no choice. It's the other choice is not very good. So we're going to go after it.
1 and 2 on Frazier. Porcello trying to get out of this second inning without a run, and he just missed there.
He got squeezed. Got squeezed a little bit right there, didn't he?
We had a couple of interesting ones last night with Chris Sale.
Let's take a look at this. Ooh, strike 3. See you later. Porcello had 2 steps to the dugout.
Yeah, he did. Runner at second base, Headley. Porcello looking for that second K in the book, but off the plate there. He's had a tough time with the Yankees, despite pitching pretty well and in times really well against them. He's 0-3 this season against New York. He tossed 6 innings or more in all 3 starts against the Yankees. You see a very respectable 3.36 ERA lifetime against them, but a 7-8 record. So he's been unlucky in the past against New York. And the 3-2, he walks him, and that'll put Frazier on in front of Tyler Austin, who hit that absolute bomb here last night. So you're planning for the wedding, for your daughter's wedding coming up, along with battling cancer. So the highs and the lows for you this season have been, this year, have been unlike anything.
Yeah, it's been tough. You know, I got to tell you, one thing that really did pick me up is when I found out they were going to have this day for me, because it gave me something positive to look forward to. And you know, even though I'm going in on Tuesday, I've been really focused on the positive, and it's kind of helped me in preparing for what I'm about to face. And you know, the reception today was so nice. I mean, the people, they're incredible. They really are incredible. You know, the way they respond, and it just makes me feel good that something I've done in the last 30 years has made them happy.
It was a marvelous reception, and they were laughing along with you, which you know, I think is fun, because that's what people do in their living rooms when they're listening to you.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, look, the whole thing about this game is you know, try to teach people something and also have a little fun. You know, and it was nice. I got to watch too. Yeah, I got to watch.
I didn't realize the watch was coming.
There's the point to the wife of the TV.
And the glove. Who's going to make an error with that?
I could. Without question.
2-0 cut out and missed by Austin. And you've got this beautiful Waterford crystal vase.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, you know, you could cool a nice bottle of Pinot and stick it in there. And
that might happen tonight.
Just maybe a shot. It's going to happen tonight.
You never know.
2 down and 2 on as we chat with the Rem Dog. A 2-1 pitch and fouled back out of play. A beautiful, beautiful day for you. And Red Sox Yankees, just a perfect setting, as you mentioned when you came out. But it was also great. I thought I mentioned this before you came on, how you talked about all the guys you worked with, and you talked about all the people who never get a chance to be on television, who have meant so much to you in your career. And I think people have to understand that every day you walk into the booth, it's like that. I mean, they love seeing you coming in there for strike 3. We'll have more with Jerry when we come back here at Fenway Park as Porcello gets out of the jam. By Coors Banquet. 39 years ago today, Jerry Remy hit his 7th and final home run of his career off Oakland. It was a 3-run blast, and it was the difference in a 4-2 win. Dennis Eckersley earned his 14th win with a complete game performance. So there's some symmetry in that.
That's memorable, isn't it? 7 career home runs.
3-run bomb there.
I'll tell you a funny story about that home run. It's a true story, too. Matt Keogh was the pitcher, and he threw me a spitball.
Devers with a high sailing fly. Hicks still backing up. Looking into the sun, makes a last-second adjustment. That had some carry on it for out number 1.
Yeah, and Matt Keogh threw me a spitball, and I missed it. I swung and missed for strike 3, and I had to miss it by this much. And Durwood Merrill was the umpire behind the plate, and he goes, foul ball. I'm already walking back to the dugout. So I can't believe this, you know. So in those days, they didn't have replay or all that stuff. So went back up to the plate. 6 career home runs. What do? I hit number 7. I mean, Keogh, I thought he lost it. You know, first of all, because he didn't get the strikeout, and he's given up a home run to me. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Did you say he threw a spitball?
In those days, there were a number of pitches that threw spitballs. Yes.
And you knew when the bottom fell out on it that was being manipulated somehow.
It was not a split-fingered fastball. That's for sure.
Xander Bogaerts, 277 with 7 home runs as we chat with Jerry Remy back here at Fenway Park for the day. Has his family here as well. Lovely tribute to your wife Phoebe, and also to the doctors, the nurses, and all the folks who've been taking care of you. And I know they're here today as well.
Yeah, they are.
Watching.
They're all here. I felt like, you know, I wanted them on the field. That was the first, my only request really, is that I wanted my doctors on the field. And, you know, before I went to break, you were talking about the people working behind the scenes that people don't get to see, the people that work so hard in the truck and put in long hours, as we know, and make our job fairly easy to do. The great camera people we have here, the great audio people we have here. I think we've got the best broadcast in the major leagues, and I think they're responsible for a lot of that. So, you know, people don't get to see them, but they should appreciate them because, and they're all great people. I mean, you know, you come to work every day, and it's always fun. It's always fun to come here, and you know, it's just, is that Joe? Is that Joe Stafford? Yeah, Joe Stafford. I mean, you know, how you doing, Joe? All right. But you know, they're terrific people, and they work so hard. People don't realize what they do, and you know, it's you know, they just see the pictures on TV, but don't realize what goes into it. So, you know, my feeling was, you know, hey, these people are important. Let's give them some love. Very
classy gesture. Certainly thought that was very deeply touching. You had a lot of us, you know, on the edge of tears. Seeing you back here today. The 3-2 to Xander. And a little pop up toward right field. Racing out to Reyes into right. He won't get there. Down for a base hit. Red Sox have their second knock today against Sonny Gray.
Now Xander will take him any way he can get him right now, right? He's been struggling.
Yep.
Take a little bloop out there to right field, and you're happy right now. That 1-for-1 looks pretty good. So, hey, maybe the Red Sox get something going here with a couple outs, or 1 out in the inning.
You know, we haven't had enough of in the booth. Not nearly enough in your absence. Not enough Beatles. You know, Chris Arroyo would always play your Beatles for you before we did the Open every day.
It was kind of a theme today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was great. It was terrific.
Get back at the end.
Yeah.
They were rolling as you were walking off the field. That was a great touch.
Yeah, it was really nice. Everything was really, really first class, and I'm just so thankful and happy.
Moreland to dig in 247 with 14 home runs. What has been the one thing you have missed more than anything as far as the broadcast stuff that you've been unable to do and you're going to be returning to, but what have you really missed the most?
I miss the way the club's playing, obviously, and there's nothing better than covering a first place ball club, as you know. The interest is high. You know, it's fun to come to the park and do your job every day when the club's playing well, and you know, I miss that. I miss, you know, occasionally I'll try to call what might happen in a game, a hit and run or a squeeze play or a steal or a double steal. And, you know, sometimes you hit those and it makes you feel good. It's almost like you just got a base hit, you know. So those things I miss, and I miss everything, you know, getting on the plane with the team after a game and being able to travel around and you know, do road games. You're more like a family unit when you're on the road than at home, you know. So there's a lot of things I miss, but truly and honestly, my focus really has been on my health, and that's where it's going to remain. And I wish the Red Sox the best, and as I said, I hope.
Line left center closing on it. Hicks, he dives. Oh, he made the play. Outstanding catch by Hicks. Came on a little bit awkwardly. Wasn't sure if he was going to leave his feet or not, but he dove to make the play.
Yeah, ball was sinking very quickly on him, and I think that he was quite surprised that he had to go into the dive like that. I feel like he was going to make that play standing up, and that ball just was sinking away off the bat of the left-hander Moreland, and that's what happens off the bat of a lefty. The ball will tail away from that center fielder, so he made a great play.
Yeah, we're trying to convince people that this job is not that easy, okay? So just, you're right back in it like nothing happened.
Salty was asking me. I said, just do a lot of like ooh and ah, and that's all you got to do, Salty. That's really it. Like that was a big ooh, or shucks. I could have dropped one of those on him, but Salty will do just fine. He's got a great knowledge of the game.
He's off to a good start today. Sandy Leon at 233 with 6 home runs, batting with Bogarts on. No score in the second inning. You got a suite today, huh?
Got a couple of them. One for family and friends, and one for the doctors. So that was awfully nice of the Red Sox and Nesson to provide that to me. And I'm anxious to get down and spend a little time with some friends, some that I haven't seen in quite some time. So it's going to be nice.
Do you get nervous at all when you do an event like that on the field?
I do. I have no problem up here, but I don't like speaking in front of a lot of people. I get nervous.
Because you only do, when you're doing this, only in front of about 1 million people.
I know, but it's different when you're down there. I don't know what it is. It's like everybody's looking at you, and you don't want to make a mistake. And
even though it's your day, celebrating your 30 years in the booth.
The worst thing is thinking about getting booed when you go out there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's going to happen. Right. Oh man. I like the watch too. That was a very nice touch.
Oh, and I need one. I've had a new watch in like 15 years.
I'm like that too. I'll wear it out.
Yeah.
It'll just stop functioning and then go to a new one.
That was a very nice touch. I mean, and now I got to figure out how to work a new watch, but we'll get through it.
Time is never a problem for you because you're going to be here at noon anyway. We're in the lobby at 9 a.m. I was thinking maybe when I asked you what do you miss. The hotel lobbies.
Yeah.
Well, traveling to those lobbies because you're infamous for getting there early and eventually getting to the ballpark.
I must admit, Dave, I was thinking about you on the off day in New York because I love that lobby.
Oh, yeah.
That's some good people watching in
the
that
Palace
lobby.
in New York.
Yeah. That's and if you can get a prime seat there, you can sit there for hours. It's great.
Celebrities.
You
diplomats coming.
Yeah, diplomats.
It's a fascinating place.
Heck, we've had the president there once. We had President Obama there once.
That's right. 2-2. And a looping line drive. That'll find a home in left field for a base hit. Red Sox trying to put something together now with 2 down. Runners on at first and second for Jackie Bradley. Jackie at 258 with 13 home runs. So Sandy going to the opposite field. Red Sox trying to take the series. I think you really would have enjoyed. Well, I know you miss it all, but you really would have enjoyed the series in New York. And watching Devers do what he did against Chapman, 103-mile-an-hour fastball, and just smoked it.
Read about that.
You just don't see that.
And I saw the video of it too, and it was wow. Because I want no part of Chapman, I can tell you that. Not at over 100 miles an hour.
And now, of course, they've lifted him out of the closer role, at least temporarily. And a ball on Jackie. Brock Holt on deck. Red Sox facing Sonny Gray, the right-hander, who is 1-2 in his career against the Red Sox, and 0-2 at Fenway with an ERA of 8.38. So this has never been among his favorite spots. Devers so far today is 0 for 1 with a long fly out to center. And Jackie checks his swing. But back to that home run cut on Sunday as Chapman was trying to nail it down, and there it goes. And as far as a velocity of 103 miles an hour, I mean, that is the highest velocity that anyone's homered on in 8 years.
What was the exit velocity on that? It had to be about 115, right?
And I know you could care less.
Exactly.
It was exit velocity.
It was a big hit. That's all I know.
Went out fast. 2 on that one, smoked. Right center field. Hicks not going to get it. It's into the triangle. Here comes Bogarts in to score. Leon coming around. He's going to try and score. Jackie into third. He's got a triple, and the Red Sox lead it 2-0.
All right. I could be a fan now. I don't have to be an analyst now. Way to go, Jackie.
A bullet to the deepest part of Fenway.
I used to do what I call the homer inning, where I, just root for the Red Sox, and that's what I'm doing this inning. That ball was really away from him, and he's able to hook that ball into that down to the 420. And once the ball goes to 420, it's run. And that's exactly what the Red Sox were able to do. So Oakland's coming with 2 outs. Red Sox jump out front. 3rd triple of the season for Jackie.
52 RBIs. And now Brock Holt to try and add on. 0 for 1. He is grounded out to third. I think we were so delighted when you came out onto the diamond, and the fans were too, to see how good you look, how healthy you look.
Yeah, I mean.
But you went through hell with this surgery.
Yeah, this was a tough surgery. This is the toughest one I've ever had.
It was over 6 hours.
It was one of those old-fashioned surgeries where it's no scope involved. It's just pretty much cut it open and do the stuff. And I'm still having some trouble with the nerves reconnecting and stuff like that on my right side. That's why my first pitch was a little bit off today.
I thought you did great with that. What are you talking about? Knowing what you went through there. Kidding me?
But
1-1 downstairs.
I get nervous for that too, the first pitch, and I don't know what it is. I mean, the easiest throw in the world is throwing the ball about 40 feet, and you start thinking about it, and I'm thinking, like, do I aim high? Because if I aim too high, something's going to happen like it happened the other night. We don't want to see that again.
No, you don't want to be a cameraman anywhere around home plate.
I figured I better aim a little bit lower and give Christian a chance.
Right. 2-1. 3 balls and 1 strike on Brock. Mookie Betts on deck. Man at third base. 2 runs in. Back to your pitch.
Yeah, stand in front of the mound always. And too low. Way too low.
So you even analyze your own pitch.
No, it was not a good first pitch, but it's okay.
You're forgiven. Given what you've been through. The 3-1. And a bounding ball. Fair. And Headley will take that to the bag to retire the side. Rem Dog, I can't tell you what a treat it is to see you again, and can't wait to have you back on the
All right, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Good luck the rest of the way. Bring home the pennant.
Okay.
All right.
Those are the orders.
I'll be watching on a new TV.
75 inches. 2-0 Red Sox. The time now for our Granite City Electric poll question. Should there be a limit on the number of mound visits per inning? Text 1 for yes, 2 for no. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. 1 message per vote. Jared Saltalamacchia back in the booth with us as we proceed to the 3rd inning. Red Sox with a 2-0 lead behind Rick Porcello. And I got to ask you about that because you're one of those guys that goes out there. What do you think? Should there be a limit on that?
I think there's got to be a common ground. I think there's got to be somewhere in between where we can limit it a little bit, and I don't know how to do it, be honest with you, but I just know that as a catcher there was plenty of times where, I want to make sure I'm on the same page because these games mean everything. And like I said, 2011 I was a part of a team that missed the playoffs by 1 game, and I'd hate to be the reason because we didn't go and talk about a situation before it happened, and I just can't imagine seeing that.
Are there other ways then to quicken the pace of baseball other than that? If you don't want to do that, would you be all for example, a pitch clock, 20 seconds?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I know some pitchers aren't. Obviously it's their livelihood as well, so they want to be able to take their time and be ready. And hitters the same thing when they're in the box. They want to be able to, be in there, get ready, and get comfortable. But that's part of the game. You're supposed to get these guys off balance, make them speed up, slow down. So like I said, there's got to be a lot of discussion. It can't just be cut dry. This is what we're going to do. I know they talked about maybe amount of guys you can bring in from the pen. I definitely don't think that was going to work because, like I said, these games mean everything, and you can't tell me you're going to limit it to only 3 guys when, and then you're talking about health. I mean, guys throwing too much.
Brett Gardner 0 for 1 after Torres just popped out to Xander Bogaerts.
Can we bring Remy back in and do this? I was sitting there as a fan just watching. He's unbelievable.
He's pretty good at this. He's pretty darn good. And jumped right back into that seat. But I know he's delighted to have you here.
Well, I hope I can make him proud. That's for sure. And he got 2 runs, so I mean, I have a lot to live up to.
No question, you do. And a 1-1 to Gardner. In there for a strike right on the edge. Aaron Hicks on deck. Red Sox ready to head to Cleveland after today for a 4-game showdown with the Indians of Terry Francona. They have a 6-game lead in the Central over Minnesota. 1-2 toward the hole and through for a base hit. So Gardner goes the other way, and he's on with a leadoff, a 1-out single here in the 3rd inning. Think Energy powering Fenway, and a smart choice to power your home. Visit thinkenergy.com to enroll today. So Hicks to climb in 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. Red Sox have Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound tomorrow in game 1 against the Indians. Doug Fister for Tuesday. Chris Sale will pitch on Thursday. All of those games are at 7. Corey Kluber is going to pitch on Wednesday for the Indians, the Cleveland ace. Last time out, he sprained an ankle. Mild sprain. Looks like he will make it back though for Wednesday.
That's good too because he's having a Cy Young type of year. It's going to be a good talk with Sale and Kluber.
Yeah, I have a feeling there'll be a lot of discussion in that series about that. And Hicks with a big swing, but a foul tip to the mid. He takes a massive cut.
Doesn't get cheated. You don't really have to hit it too far when you're playing at Yankee Stadium. Hit him in a nice play last inning as well.
And dive and a catch out in center field. But then Jackie Bradley ripped that triple to score both Bogaerts and Leone with 2 down, and the Sox are in front.
That was a catcher scoring from first, right?
It was, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I wrote that note down.
You did. You got that right.
Okay.
Sandy all the way from first.
Athletic. It's not easy. Day game after night game, hot.
Picking them up, putting them down.
I never had a problem doing that. It was the getting started part that I had a problem with. If I can get started and leaning forward, I'm good.
That explosion part.
Didn't have that.
Did he check? That's a swing and a miss. 2-2, and he's not happy. Hicks thought he held it. They appealed to Trip Gibson, and he said a swing and a miss.
It's close.
Almost always is. Hicks 1 for 4 with a double last night, but just 7 hits in his last 42 at bats. So he's been scuffling. Porcello trying to add to that, trying to strike him out for the second time. I think you will see some kind of change, fairly serious change in baseball next year, Salty, about pace of play, and I have a feeling it's going to be a pitch clock.
You know, they're doing it in the minor league level, and they're sticking by it. I mean, they.
He's got him. Gardner picked off by Porcello. He cuts him down at first.
He was ready to go there, and he's quick to first. Caught him leaning. Tried to get to the backside of the bag, get away from the tag. Oh.
And the Yankees are waiting, and they want it looked at.
He might have got back in there.
So this play is under review. Called out at first base, but now they want to take a look. See if he got back in there. Oh, he's safe.
Yep. He got him fooled. He got him leaning. Gardner did a great job going to the backside of the bag, trying to avoid the tag. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to go the Red Sox way.
I don't think this will take very much time at all, and that'll be reversed. Heck of a move by Porcello, but does not look like he got him. That hand looked like it was on the corner of the bag. Give me another look.
That is the benefit of having a left-handed first baseman, though. It makes it look so close. They're able to get that ball and just swipe tag and make it look so easy.
So they overturn it, and he is safe. 2-2 to count on Hicks with 1 down. Sox in front 2-0. Porcello back on April 26th lost to these Yankees 3-1, but he went 6 2/3, just 2 earned runs, 5 hits. Check swing, and that'll miss.
Tried the curveball again like he did his first at bat to get him swing and miss.
Could have been a called strike too.
Yeah, we're at the top of the zone.
See what Gardner's doing here. 1 down and the 3-2. Off he goes. And strike 3 down to second to tag. He's safe.
Great throw. Good jump.
So Hicks strikes out again.
Rick did a great job giving him an opportunity to throw him out. Threw a ball right down the middle. Just too fast for him.
So it'll bring up Judge, who's 0 for 1 with a long fly out to center. Hitting .284 with 37 home runs, and now Leon will come out for a visit. Judge last night set the major league record by striking out in 36 consecutive games. He still leads the American League in home runs. He's 3rd in total bases, number 1 in slugging percentage, 2nd in on base percentage, and he's number 1 in walks. He's walked 90 times.
I think he's going to break a few more records that might overshadow that strikeout record in his career. Makes it look so easy, his power. I mean, that home run derby was just, I mean, I was in awe. And I've seen Stanton, Nelson Cruz, Josh Hamilton, all those guys take BP on a daily basis. And to see what he did was just amazing.
Yeah, all those 500-foot shots that he hit. But are you one that believes that the home run derby can mess with a guy's swing and hurt him in the second half?
I think it can. I mean, just over history, seeing guys, talking to David Ortiz a little bit. I mean, you're at the midway point and your body's already a little tired. And the All-Star break is usually for your body to rest a little bit. And those guys don't get any rest. I mean, they're constantly going to media. They're going to home run derbies, then the game. I mean, there's no rest period. So it's kind of like what we talked about with Chapman in the short off season. It can affect you that next year.
Look at that last pitch from Porcello. A ball and 2 strikes on Judge. He's hit the 1 home run against the Red Sox this season. They do appeal a no swing. 2-2.
He's being careful with him. You got first base open, so you don't want to make a mistake and give up a 2-run homer in a situation where, you know, Didi on deck, left-handed hitter. You know, I'd rather kind of take my chances.
High fly, but foul out of play.
Leon's going to make a visit, maybe switch some signs up, make sure that Gardner's not peeking too much.
So what is this conversation like? I mean, what do they exactly talk about?
He's going out there and telling them, you know, hey, let's switch the signs up. Gardner's been at second base for a few pitches now. He might have our signs, so let's go ahead and switch him up and make sure he's not relaying signs to the hitter.
So the fastball becomes a different number?
Becomes a different number, and you know, sometimes you don't change at all. Just that little meeting makes the guy at second think that you switched him and you really didn't.
Holt up and over to get him, and Porcello out of the inning. He is not happy with Lance Barksdale, not one bit. Red Sox leading 2-0. Red Sox season ticket plans for 2018 are on sale right now. New plans include access to potential 2017 postseason games. For more information, go to redsox.com/season tickets. Bottom of the third on a bright sunny day here at Fenway Park. Sox on top 2-0 over the Yankees. And Mookie Betts to lead it off against Sonny Gray. First time up, Mookie grounded out to second. Andrew Benintendi, Hanley Ramirez to follow against the right-hander. Gray's always had a good curveball. We're seeing a good one today from Rick Porcello as well. Maybe a little too good for Lance Barksdale on a couple of pitches.
tell you what, I mean, if he's going to miss, I'd rather miss there, just a ball off rather than over the middle of the plate, especially with a guy like Judge. And, I know if he stays there, he'll eventually start getting those calls.
I think that umpires miss the curveball more than they miss any other pitch.
Yeah, it's tough. And you know what? The tough one obviously is if you got a left-handed hitter and you're going inside, those ones they get blocked out. Or a right-handed hitter, you're trying to go in, those umpires get blocked out. So there's been plenty of times where I've set up in and umpires have kind of grabbed me and pushed me and tried to move me out of the way so they can see.
2 hopper to short. Gregorius will set down Mookie Betts. 1 away in the third. Benintendi next. We saw Rick coming off the diamond. He was not happy, obviously, with the umpire. You know that your pitcher is upset. So what do you do after this? I mean, he feels he's missed a couple that he wanted to have.
Well,
certainly could have been a strike.
Like I said, if he stays right there, eventually he's going to start getting it. The last thing you want to do is show the umpire up because he's going to remember that. And like I said, you want to make that umpire your best friend. So I know Leon's back there talking to him, asking him where he got it. And I know Lance pretty well too. And he's a guy that he'll ask you. He'll start talking to you during the game. Hey, you really got that on the corner? Do you have it off? So you just got to be honest with him, and eventually he'll start getting them. So you go in the dugout, you try and talk to Rick and tell him, listen, hey, we'll get it. Just keep right there, keep pitching, making your pitches, and we'll be able to get through this game.
So you feel very much like you're an intermediary.
Very much so. Sometimes you gotta play dad, you gotta play babysitter, you gotta play all kinds of roles.
And I think that Porcello did not show him up, and I know you're not saying that either. He's barking into his glove, but he made his point.
Oh yeah, he's a competitor. I mean, especially at this point in the season, these games mean everything. Actually, first game of the season means everything. So he wants this win as bad as anybody else, and he knows that this game's on his shoulders right now, and that's how he's taking it, and he should.
Benintendi 1 for 1 with an opposite field base hit first inning. One of the 4 Sox hits. Yankees have been held to 2. Benintendi with 10 RBIs his last 5 games against the Yankees. Popped up foul off third. Frazier looking for room near his dugout. Can't get there. Was up against that railing there right in front of their dugout, and he couldn't quite get there.
That's a tough play for him. You got a lefty at bat, and you're not quite playing right on the line like you would against a righty, so you got a lot more distance to cover. Got a slight shift over to the right side of the infield, so that's a long run to make.
Time to see who's been driving the ball, presented by Toyo Tires. Andrew Benintendi, 375 in the month of August with 5 home runs. Toyo Tires, the official tire of the Boston Red Sox. 2-2, no swing on Benintendi. Hanley Ramirez next. Sox looking for win number 71. At the moment, 18 games over 500. And eager to leave Fenway with a 5-game lead over the Yankees again. And Sonny Gray with a 2-2. Hard hit but foul. Gray's last time out, he pitched against the Mets in the Subway Series. He got the win 5-4. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. He's been the epitome of an average good pitcher. 10 starts this year. He's pitched exactly 6 innings. He's only gone deeper than that 4 times all season, but he's only pitched less than that on 6 occasions. So pretty consistent.
Yeah, and I mean, the Red Sox and Yankees have been spoiled over the years of having 4 and 5 starters that are aces on any other team. Yeah, as you can see right now. I don't know where Sonny ranks in their depth, but he's definitely towards the top, especially with CC back now healthy. It's a pretty good rotation.
Sabathia was surprisingly good yesterday, as this one has popped a mile in the air back of home plate. Sanchez trying to make an adjustment here, but it's off into the crowd. And I say surprising. He's been a really good pitcher throughout his career, maybe a Hall of Famer one day, but he was just coming off more trouble with his knee. As recently as the 2nd week of August, he was talking about maybe retiring because of the pain in that knee, and then comes out and pitches like he does.
Yeah, he's a professional. The guy's been doing it a long time. He's one of the cases where he knows how to pitch. That's what he did when he came up. He learned how to pitch. Yeah, he threw hard as well, but he knew the importance of getting strike one and being able to pitch on both sides of the plate, and that's exactly what he did yesterday. He had all three pitches working on both sides of the plate, and it's tough to look both sides of the plate.
Sabathia in yesterday's game, he got the win. And he has really been bedeviling the Red Sox all season long, really. They only have 2 runs off him in 3 starts. So he has had the Sox number. They're likely to see him again in the 1 remaining series, which will be at Yankee Stadium in early September. Fly down the left field line. He'll keep on cruising to Gardner. He makes an adjustment and makes the catch. So 2 up and 2 down. Fans, fall ball will be here before you know it. Outfit your entire team with custom batting gloves like Hanley Ramirez. Go back to school in style. Coaches, for discounted prices, email teamsales@franklinsports.com. Franklin Sports, proud to be the official batting glove of Major League Baseball. Hanley 0 for 1. He's flied to right. Red Sox in front 2-0 on a triple by Jackie Bradley to score 2. Hanley with a double in the 8th inning last night. He went 1 for 4. Last couple of years he's had some very meaningful home runs against the Yankees.
He doesn't get cheated up there.
Nobody does anymore. You could say that about almost every hitter, couldn't you? I mean,
every hitter, every relief pitcher. I mean, they throw
Right.
100. Hitters go up there swinging, their helmets fall off.
Well, how does this feel though? Getting right into your mask like this.
It'll wake you up for that day game, that's for sure. If you weren't awake, you are now.
Sanchez taking a hit. Yours is the only position that looks out to the diamond.
Yep.
So you get to see everything.
And that's something that I've enjoyed about it, is being able to kind of see all aspects of the game. You know, you're kind of like the second manager. You're the eyes out there. I've been fortunate enough to play with a lot of good position players like Pedroia and Stephen Drew and a few others that, you know, you don't have to even look at them. They know exactly what they're doing and where they're going, but it also helps knowing what their position. That way you know what to throw, what to call. You see what your pitcher's got that day and what you can get away with. You know, it's a chess match, and I enjoy it.
What do you think? I mean, you're in great shape. You're young enough to continue playing. Are you finished playing? Or are you going to go back onto the diamond?
No, I'm definitely going to be back on the field. Just a matter if it's going to be towards the end of this year or spring training next year. You know, I was home for a month and a half, 2 months. First time in 15 years I've been able to spend time with my 4 daughters, and you know, they're back in school now. So you know, I got that itch, just being there watching some of these games on TV and watching, you know, some competitive baseball, and I'm very excited to be able to get back on the field and be a part of that.
You said that when you came into the booth, you were like, you know, I've been watching a lot of the games, and it's just heightened my desire to be back out there.
Oh, I mean, you get a whole new perspective when you're up here and when you're at home watching the game. You know, it's in your blood, and I've always been told, don't leave this game until you're absolutely ready and your heart's telling you to.
As they say, make them tear the jersey off, right?
Exactly.
2-2 on Hanley. Last fastball 95 from Sonny Gray.
Another one off of Sanchez.
Yeah, he's taking it. Taking some shots in this inning. Red Sox leading 2-0 in the 3rd. Jared Saltalamacchia wears very proudly a World Series ring with the Boston Red Sox from 2013. And the band of bearded brothers He was certainly one of those guys.
Yes, yes. Might not be the best looking one. I think Napoli pretty much destroyed everybody on that. Probably the only one that had the body, I guess, to walk around with his shirt off for was a week or two straight.
He did. There were like 500,000, cell phone pictures of him.
It's like, where's Waldo? But you're trying to find Napoli.
Oh, there he is. He's on Boylston. 3-2 and a shot. That one headed for the wall. Down the line and off the monster. Hanley wants second base. It gets by Gardner, and he's going to trot into second. He really had to find it bat there.
He hit that ball hard, and I tell you, Gardner did a great job of knowing it's going to hit off the wall. He took his right angle he was supposed to. It hit off the wall. It just kicked to the right of him, but he was still able to get it in. That's a tough position to play. That in center field here.
So Hanley with the 2-base hit. Red Sox have a triple from Jackie Bradley that scored a pair, and now comes Devers, who is 0 for 1 with a warning track fly to center. Rafael yesterday homered for the 3rd straight game against the Yankees. His 5th home run in his last 6 games. And in 20 major league games, he's hit safely in 17 of them. You realize in the last 100 years, the only other players to hit safely in 17 of their first 20 in the big leagues are in the Hall of Fame. Roberto Clemente and Pudge Rodriguez.
I tell you, this kid does something every game that's impressive. His approach, everything about him, he's calm, collective. Guy on second base right now, a guy his age, he'd be swinging out of his shoes trying to, get that big RBI and be the hero. And he's up there taking 2 close pitches on the inside corner. Now he's in a hitter's count where he can look for that fastball out over the plate.
So far 4 for 9 in the series with 2 home runs. Ramirez at second with 2 away, and Gray home with a 2-0. Ball 3. With another one close.
He's looking for a certain pitch. Anytime a guy takes pitches, 3 pitches in a row on the inside corner, they're not looking in there. They're looking away. They're going to go ahead and put him on here, which is probably a smart move.
Time for a twisted but true fact. According to Elias, Devers the only player with 8+ home runs in the first 20 major league games before turning 21. Twisted tea tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. And Larry Rothschild on the mound visit. See, I'm with you. You and I were talking about it before the game. We're talking about different things that have changed in the majors recently, and the automatic walk, holding up the 4 fingers and he takes his base, no need to throw the pitches. You don't like it. I don't really like it either, because I've seen a couple of games in by the pitcher throwing that away, throwing it to the backstop.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm an old school type of player, and I look at the game old school, and I wasn't a fan of the changes they made behind the plate. I wasn't a fan of that. I feel like the players on the field should be able to decide whether they win or lose. And if that's the case, you're going to take that away, then there's a lot of other situations you need to take out of the equation. Let the guys play.
Yeah, I'm with you. And really, what does it save? 18 seconds?
If.
Xander 1 for 1, base hit and a run scored. Trying to make him pay here. And trying to get hot again.
Here's another guy that reminds me of Devers when he first came up. I think around the same age, 20 years old. He just brought that energy to our team in 13. Knowing a guy like him who just made it look so easy, just real calm and collective, had a great approach at the plate like he's been there for 15 years.
Snap toss down to first, and he's out.
Great throw.
Devers cut down on a chuck by Sanchez, showing off an outstanding arm in this series. Now the Red Sox thinking about possibly challenging this, and they have decided that they will not. He is out to retire the side. arm back there and just proved it by getting Devers on a play at first.
Yeah, this is a pitcher's best friend right here. You know, second and first. He had talked to Headley right there. Sanchez and Headley communicating to each other, let him know, hey, I'm going to back pick behind him. Maybe we can catch him sleeping, and was able to get Sonny out of that inning without any damage.
A ball on Gregorius was lined to short. So how does that play come together? When is that communication made and how?
Well, usually you have a communication. You have a sign you give to middle infielders if you're going to pick to second or a first baseman. And I used to throw dirt. If I'm going to first, I would pick dirt up and throw it towards first base. And he would give me a signal, whether it's tapping the glove or something. And you knew that. And a lot of times you try and have that communication with the pitcher too and let him know, hey, I'm going to pick, so give me something good to throw, something up and in. And one of the best in the game is Yadi with that.
No doubt, Yadier Molina into the dirt on Gregorius. So you throw the dirt and hope Headley sees it, because then he has to confirm in some way, I saw that, I know what you're doing, here it is, I'm tapping my glove or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
So I can make sure I'm there.
Definitely, that's part of the communication, and you know that's what we were talking about with the pitcher. You know, you want to take those visits and communicate, and you know they had their little signal they gave, and you know there's a lot of different scenarios that go. You know, last night we saw Leon throw behind on a bunt situation. You know, that's something in spring training we talk about, that you don't need a signal. Anytime a guy squares around the bunt with a man on second, you're automatically going to back pick, so the shortstop knows to get behind him and be ready.
Fly ball into right. Betts will move on back to make that catch. And Gregorius, who's been trouble in the series, is 0 for 2. Ace Ticket, Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets from bleachers to boxes. Ace has the lowest prices to games at Fenway. Treat yourself for someone special with tickets to a game. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. So Porcello gets his first man here in the fourth inning. Red Sox head 2-0. And the dangerous Sanchez with his 23 home runs. 0 for 1 here this afternoon.
You know, I know he's had excuse me, had his struggles behind the plate, but I mean what he brings to the team offensively, and his arm, you know, it's one of the best in the game. And you know, people forget this is his second year. You know, I mean he's had a lot of publicity, so you think that he's got a lot more time. So he's still learning.
It came in with such a bang with all those home runs, tremendous power. (2-0) looked like he went, and a strike anyway. Sanchez questioning the home plate umpire Barksdale about whether it was on the swing or the pitch, and I think he said it was on the pitch itself. It was a strike. 2-1 right through there.
He used to have Adam Dunn would come up there. There were some characters up there that, you know, would do something like that, and they'd turn around to the umpire and I know I went. And they'll just, you know, you think they're yelling at him, but they're just having a good old time, and sometimes not even talking about baseball. And it gets commentators talking about, oh, he's saying this, he's saying that, and it's just a good time.
Ball 3. I've heard great stuff about Dunn. You know, what a funny guy he is.
He had fun. I mean, he was definitely had a lot of great career. One of those guys in the clubhouse that kept it light. He was fun. Even at the plate, he'd walk up. I got a lot of stories that I could probably share, but maybe not on the air.
Well, now I definitely want to hear a couple of those during the commercial break. And share those with me.
Of course.
Headley on deck. Sox in front 2-0. And a breaking ball high and tight. So he walks him. Second walk issued by Porcello. You know he's not happy about that. That'll send up Headley, who doubled his first time up. I think Dunn, I guess it's easy to say, well, you know, he struck out a lot, and you know, he walked a lot and hit a lot of home runs. There have been a lot of hitters like that through time, but almost ahead of his time, because when you look at how many hitters there are like that today, they don't care if they strike out 200 times. If they're going to hit 35 or 40 home runs,
yep,
they could care less if they punch out 250 times.
And that's the way the game was. I mean, and it changes time and time again, and it's going to continue to change. You know, long after we're gone, you're going to have, you know, I think catchers back in the day were these short little guys that can throw and didn't have to hit. Then you had a period of time where catchers, all they could do is hit, they couldn't catch. And now it's kind of going back and forth, and you know, you're starting to appreciate the different aspects of the game, and home runs were huge. Now you got Chris Carter, who hit 40 homers, and got a 1-year deal, which you didn't see that 10 years ago.
Yeah, there will be more strikeouts this year than any year in the history of baseball, topping last year, which topped the year before that, which topped the year before that. So that's been the progression.
I want to say it has to have something to do with guys coming in throwing 100 miles an hour.
I think it might. It's definitely that. It's also, you know, launch angles and guys trying to hit the ball 500 feet.
It's sexy.
Sure.
500 homers are very sexy. Not from home plate. Home plate looks like a golf ball going out. I never liked that.
Unless you were hitting it.
Yeah, but I had my eyes closed when I did that, so I don't really.
2-1 fouled away. Frazier on deck. Salty with us today. Jerry Remy was with us earlier. Had a wonderful visit with the Rem dog as he's returned to Fenway Park for the afternoon with his family and his medical staff and taking in the ball game.
I had goosebumps and chills. Just, I mean, 30 years is respectable enough, but you know what he means to this town and to this organization. I spent many days in there early with him talking and just picking his brain. And you know, he never went in the clubhouse and wasn't one of those guys that's going to sit in your chair and talk to you and bother you. You know, he wouldn't talk to you unless you wanted to talk to him, and you know, he was very, very respectful. And there was plenty of times where we kind of got him on the team bus with us to have some fun.
30 years. 30 years in Boston.
Right.
That's a different animal. 3-2 will be ball four, so this is a true rarity for Rick Porcello. Back-to-back walks, and now he'll face Frazier, who he walked in the second inning.
Yeah, and you know his focus right now, and I think that's what they're going to do is go out there and talk about it right now. Is you know stay out of that big inning. You know that's what you want to do. The 3-run homers. It's not the solo homers that can hurt you. It's the 3-run homers. So I'm sure they're going to talk to him right now and kind of get his focus back in.
Home run ball has been a real issue for Rick this season. Frazier with a home run last night, number 21. And you talk about the epitome of the modern day slugger. And this is it right here in Todd Frazier.
That was not an easy pitch to hit. I know if you ask Sale, he wanted to bury it, but you know you got to tip your hat and say, hey, guy got me.
Porcello has allowed 28 home runs, which is a staff high. So desperate to stay away from another one of those. Frazier, just a .212 hitter, but 21 homers.
He's only got 2 at-bats against him, so you know he doesn't have a lot of looks, so he doesn't really know what to kind of expect. He's probably looking one pitch, one spot, and trying to do one thing, and that's to clear the wall.
It's 16 of his home runs with the Chicago White Sox before being traded to the Yankees. Went for the downs there and came up empty, and it's 1-1. Sanchez at second, Headley on at first.
Knowing Frazier, you definitely don't want to leave a slider over the plate, so he's going to be careful right here and try and make his pitch. And
high pop up in foul territory. Devers, and here comes Bogarts off into the seats. So Porcello in front, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Todd Frazier. Frazier, a Little League world champion.
Still wore his helmet the same, didn't he?
Yeah,
the high lid.
So. Yep. He was a closer on his Little League team, his New Jersey team. Fouled away. Toms River, New Jersey. He told that great story last Sunday about going out and getting a chance to meet Derek Jeter when they celebrated their Little League championship at Yankee Stadium, and Jeter took him out to shortstop along with some of the other players. Frazier looked up. He had no idea what to say to him, so he just said to Jeter, "Congratulations." And Jeter, ever classy, said, "Well, thank you very much."
I'm sure. I don't think Jeter ever did anything wrong in his career.
I don't think so.
It's absolutely amazing.
Here's Moreland with it with the infield fly-in effect, and he'll make the catch. So he pops up here. Big out there for Porcello, 2 gone, and Austin is next. MLB.com At Bat is your #1 mobile app for live Red Sox baseball. Stay connected. Get Red Sox home screen icons, app features, and more. Download MLB.com At Bat today.
See, to me, this at bat right here was the most important at bat of this inning, just because a lot of times pitchers, they get 2 outs and they start to breathe. Okay, I'm out of the woods here, and then that's when you make a mistake and it can hurt you. So Leon went out there, had a conversation with him, probably switched up some signs again, but also told him, hey, let's keep fighting right here.
Austin struck out looking in the second. There was all sorts of trouble last night for the Red Sox. A 3-run homer off of Chris Sale. That was a shocker, and for the Red Sox, they never really did recover.
No, and Sale made the adjustment on him his second at bat, and I think by his third at bat, he realized that this kid's going to sit on the fastball. First at bat, he sat on the heater, hit a homer. Next at bat, he went soft, tried the heater again, almost hit it off the center field wall. So his last at bat, he said, all right, I'm going to go all off speed, and then after 5 pitches, he threw the heater and was able to get him jammed.
Sale still going 7. He struck out 9. And the Red Sox defeat. He'll face the Yankees again at Yankee Stadium in the next series in early September. And a foul tip into the mid. He struck him out.
Great pitch.
So despite a couple of walks, he pitches around that. Big K of Austin there, and it's 2-0 Red Sox. Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the First Day Station, that is behind Section 12 on the lower concourse. Visit bidmc.org. To the last half of the 4th inning, a little cloud cover here. We've had plenty of sunshine today, but very, very comfortable afternoon here at Fenway as the Sox try and beat the Yankees in another series after doing it last weekend in New York, and another one coming up in 2 weeks, and that'll be the last series of the regular season between the Red Sox and the Yankees. It'll be August 31 through September 3rd in the Bronx, and then the Sox and Yankees will not play again in the regular season. So it'll be over relatively early this year, although a lot of games in a short window, 10 games in 24 days.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a 20-game run right now, right?
That's correct. Well, Xander Bogaerts with a base hit and a run. He was on when Jackie Bradley tripled in a pair in the 2nd inning off of Sonny Gray. Moreland on deck. And Sandy Leon. Sox with 5 hits. Rick Porcello has held the Yankees to 2. Sox heading for Cleveland for 4. Then back here next weekend against the Orioles at Fenway. Just 3 games, and then the Sox are back out on the road again to Toronto and New York. But a lot of home games in September. Last foul, 1-2 on Xander.
I think the toughest thing for me was when you had these weekend series against any AL East team, because they're such a tough. I mean, you're just worn out. You go home and you just don't even want to move. You're just numb, and your adrenaline's pumping. It's tough to sleep, but then you got to go to a new city and face a team you haven't faced that much. So you got to do your reports and you got to do all your homework. I mean, that's the part that drains you. It's not so much on the field because you just let reaction happen, but it's the preparation for every game. That was a close one.
Yeah, you talk about dog days, and that's what it is right now. You know, you get to that 120 game mark.
Oh yeah, 100%, and you're in a fight. I mean, these games mean something, so that's even more adrenaline pumping, and you put your body in so many different situations that at the end of the year you're needing a vacation.
2-2 from Gray. Sun back out, and that'll be ball 3. The first game of the series went 4 hours and 9 minutes, and it was 8.5 innings. No rain delay.
The seventh inning was.
The 7th inning was 1 hour and 3 minutes. But a heck of a win for the Red Sox. 3-2. Xander so far 2 out of 8 in the series.
Needs to have a big day. Represent for number 2, right?
Indeed. You're on Jerry Remy Day.
Perfect time to do something.
And a payoff pitch. Right at the third baseman, Frazier. Hoovers that up and gets him. Let's go to TC.
Yeah, thanks, OB. Mitch Moreland stepping up to the plate, back in the starting lineup against the righty Sonny Gray today. Wasn't in the starting lineup against left-handed starting pitching each of the last 2 days, but he made his impact on the game, reaching base as a pinch hitter in each game. Friday night had the game-winning 2-run single with 2 outs, now hitting .459 as a pinch hitter since 2014. That's the best pinch hitting batting average in all of Major League Baseball. I spoke with him before the game, and he said the tough part about pinch hitting is you find yourself kind of projecting as the game goes on. When am I going to get up? Who's going to come in to face me? He says if you can be ready for it, it's a great thrill. Certainly was on Friday night. But make no mistake, guys, he said he's more happy to be out there with 4 or 5 cracks at it as a starter today.
No question about that. It's got to be one of the most difficult things to do in professional sports is to come off the bench against a guy throwing 97 late in the game and be expected to do something.
Without a doubt. And in the National League, it's believe it or not easier than it is in the American League, because in the National League you get a chance every night to get a pinch hit. American League, usually you're not coming in for anybody. There's no pitcher to hit for, so there's just never that situation. And he did a great job the other night. They kind of tipped their hand and went change-up, so you kind of felt like that's what the scouting report was on him. Hey, I'm going to get this guy out with change-ups, because you got a guy throwing 99. You're not typically going to see a lot of change-ups, but he threw him 3 in a row and was able to get the big hit.
It's the same thing that Andrew Benintendi recognized. Very smart piece of hitting as he was looking for that change-up 2-1 to the strike zone, and he ripped a base hit.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job, up and down the lineup. They have a great approach. I know Chile does a great job with those guys and getting them, ready for each game, letting them know what these guys have. But, I feel like playing here in Fenway helped my approach tremendously by just knowing that I have that wall out in left field, that I can hit the fastball off the wall. Everything else kind of runs into your bat speed, and I think that's what Benintendi did.
2-1 on the way. Even up on Moreland, who is lined to center field in this one, but Friday he was one of the heroes in the Red Sox come from behind victory. Benintendi churning around with that 2-run single by Moreland.
It's nice to be able to bring him off the bench and know that, you know, defensively he's a Gold Glove type caliber player too.
Yep, exactly. 2-2 toward the middle, and Gregorius with an off-balance chuck to get him. 2 up and 2 down. Sandy Leon next tonight at 6. Don't miss the Ultimate Red Sox show presented by AAA. We have a recap of the Jimmy Fund Telethon and highlights from the old-time baseball game. That's tonight at 6 only on NESN. Pedro showed up at the old-time baseball game. They drew a gigantic crowd. They had 3,000-4,000 people there.
That was great for him to do that too. I mean, John Martin has meant so much to this team, and you know, I can remember, you know, doing plenty of events with him, you know, while my time here, and it's a sad story, but we're bringing awareness to it, and you know, hopefully we can find a cure to beat this thing.
TC.
Yeah, guys, you know, the question when Steve Buckley of the Herald originally threw it to John Martin, you want to be part of this, says, I'm not sure I'll be up for going out there for the night. As soon as Pedro heard that, Pedro called the Martins and said, no, I'm going to come pick you and the family up. And sure enough, Pedro showed up in a limo, picked up the Martin family, brought them out to the event, and was there all night long. It was an unbelievable night and a reminder by what Pedro means to this community and how, like you just said, Salty, Pedro understood what John Martin has meant behind the scenes, not just to us at NESN, but to everybody in the Boston sports community.
John Martin, a very gifted cameraman, and suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease, and a guy that we just adore, and made many trips with the Red Sox and the Bruins, and covering all sports events for NESN and throughout New England, and just truly one of the great guys in our business.
Yeah, and you know, this organization is one of the class act organizations in all of baseball, just because it is a family affair everywhere you go. You see it time and time again. Players come back, and whether they're on the field, in the booth, you know, on the sidelines, in the dugout, you know, it's just a big family, and Pedro showed it by, you know, showing up.
And NU's Max Burt was the MVP of the old-time game, which drew that great crowd for such a wonderful cause. As Sandy Leon is on for the second time, as he'll take ball 4. With 2 down, that'll send up Jackie Bradley, who's done the damage today. The reason it's 2-0 Red Sox with his 2-run triple in the second inning off into the triangle. Not to pressure you, Salty, but that was when the Rem Dog was on the air.
Yeah.
I know you don't feel that pressure.
No, I feel the pressure. Trying to fill in for Remy is not an easy task, and then he comes in and gets 2 runs for us, or for the Red Sox, and it's just, feeling it.
Brock Holt on deck. And Gray with the 0-1. Tried to sneak it inside, but missed.
I will say I'm at a disadvantage, though, because you know, Leon already had to score once from first base. I mean, you're asking this guy to do a lot.
An awful lot.
It's not fair.
With those legs, yeah. A pitch count up to 88 now for Gray here in the 4th inning. Hot shot and a fair ball. He'll tap the bag to retire the side. No runs or hits, a walk. 2-0 Red Sox. BuyAToyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger program. Your New England Audi dealers and the 2018 Audi Q5. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Sox in front here 2-0. Moving on to the 5th inning here at Fenway. Getaway day for the Sox. Moving on to Cleveland. And Rick Porcello with a little bit of early run support, but only 2 at this point. They'll square off against Torreyes, Gardner, and Hicks, so that'll be 9-1-2. Torreyes in this one 0 for 1. He's popped to short. Porcello trying to make it 4 consecutive wins, but he's not been able to beat the Yankees this season. He's 0-3 despite a very respectable 3.79 ERA against them.
Yeah, he's pitched well. I mean, especially his last 3 starts, and he had some success against them last year. Cy Young year. He's not but a year removed from that. He knows how to pitch. He's faced these guys before. He had 3 starts against them last year, 2-1 record with a 2 ERA. Pretty respectable.
I think he's done something today, Salty, that he did routinely last year. If he walks a guy, in fact, he walked 2 men last inning, gave up a double and a walk in the 2nd inning. So often last year, he wouldn't cave in. He might allow a run. He might even give up a couple of runs, but that was it. He'd shut the door after that. That's how you win a Cy Young. I know that.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, is staying out of the big innings. And I know that he's probably going back to the dugout, upset that he got himself in that situation, but, that's what makes good pitchers great pitchers, is when you can go out there and keep your team in a game and stay out of those big innings.
22-4 a season ago. Right to the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. And 1 man gone. Gardner on the way up next. Tomorrow at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. Adam Pellerin, Tim Wakefield, Lenny DiNardo will preview the 4-game series with the Indians and have the latest on Drew Pomerant's injury. He's the coolest guy in the crowd. I'm sorry. Joseph Abboud. He's as cool as it gets. Just had a store over there on Madison Ave in New York. Beautiful store. Great stuff there. But, whatever he wears, he looks like $1 million in.
That's half the battle, right?
I suppose. I don't know what that feeling is.
I don't either.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Look at this hair and this face. I've got a face for radio, and
no.
But it's all about how you just wear it.
Indeed, that one ripped down the line, headed deep into the corner, and that ball is out of here. That's a home run. Brett Gardner barely muscling that out of here. That gets the Yankees on the scoreboard and makes it a 2-1 game. That'll be his 20th home run. So a shot down the line for a solo drive.
Yeah, change up here. He left up in the zone, and Gardner was able to get it out in front and get it right down that pesky pole. Now Rick's got to come back and focus on this pitch right here and not worry about what just happened. Got to move on to the next pitch.
29th home run he's allowed this season. A solo for Gardner. His 2nd hit brings up Hicks, the switch hitter who has struck out twice, 0 for 2. And for Gardner, a new career high in home runs. Got a leadoff man who can give them a 1-0 lead any night of the week.
He's definitely a dangerous 1-0 hitter. He can do it in all aspects. He can run, he can hit, he's got power, plays in a real good ballpark and a good division.
Pop foul back out of play.
I always felt Pedroia would make a great leadoff guy, just because he's going to battle, he's going to grind, and that's kind of how you want to set the tone, is that guy that's going to get up there and put a bat together.
And of course, throughout his career, he has been a very good leadoff man.
Yep.
DL at the moment.
I'm sure he's taping up right now and on his knees trying to take some swings in the cages. Never could stay still.
One of your favorite all-time teammates?
By far. by far one of my favorite teammates. I mean, just the energy he brings, the focus he brings. If you watch him on a daily basis, you see it. I mean, he's moving before the ball's even pitched. He's aware of what's going to happen at all times. You know, he's a true leader and a true captain, and you know, Varitek was that way as well.
Bounder right there to Moreland. He'll take it to the bag, and there are 2 down. So Hicks is gone. Judge is next. Rick Porcello's pitching line is brought to you by Ace Ticket. Has walked 3 men. Just the 1 run so far in 4 2/3, 91 pitches.
I think he's done a great job. You know, he's probably thrown a little more pitches than he's wanted to and fell behind. I know he's not a guy that walks a lot, but he stayed out of big innings, and that's key.
Judge has fly to center and grounded out to second. The sun has been in and out the last 45 minutes or so. Big wave and a miss. He was fooled on that curveball.
Yeah, that shadow's creeping closer and closer, and whether you're catching or hitting, you don't want to be in there when that shadow starts hitting.
And right back to number 1 to make it 0-2.
See if he finishes him with something soft. He started him soft, maybe finish him soft.
Mid-5th studio show coming up with our man Adam Peller in the 0-2. Got a piece.
Tried to come back with the heater. A little late.
Judge with only 9 hits and 56 at bats against the Red Sox.
They've done a great job against him, and I think that's, you know, Judge being a young guy.
And a high pop up. First baseman Moreland with a play.
You know, Judge being a young guy, you don't want to make any mistakes and leave it over the plate. So you can probably use his youngness for your advantage.
Well, they are doing that now. Time to turn it over to Adam for the mid-5th studio show. At the midway point as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Time now for the Geico Red Sox moment, honoring the 07 Red Sox World Championship season. Game number 123 that year. The Red Sox would beat the Angels 10-5. Curt Schilling went 6. He got the win. Big Papi at his 21st home run. Manny Ramirez with 2 RBIs and a Red Sox victory. Recently celebrated here at Fenway Park, the 07 championship and wire-to-wire season. Brock Holt to lead it off. He's grounded out twice. Then it's Betts and Andrew Benintendi. And Gray certainly working at his own pace. He will deal strike 1 to Brock. He was trying to catch fire, hitting 188. He has hit safely in 13 of his last 16 starts against the Yankees. And the 0-1. And he's on again.
Yeah, that's always tough when you've had the season he's had, where you get in a rhythm and then you're down for a while and then you get in a rhythm again. It's a tough situation that he's been in this year, but he's a professional. He goes out every day and he knows that there's more important parts of this game. It's not just what you do at the plate, it's what you do on the field as well.
Mookie Betts next. He's grounded out to second and to short. Mookie will probably bat for the 500th time today. He's come to bat 488 times, second most in the American League. He's in the top 5 in runs. He's put the ball in play on 55% of his swings, more than any other major league hitter.
That's impressive. Very impressive.
In there for a strike. Well, no activity in either bullpen. The Gray's starting to close in on 100 pitches. He's at 94 with this next one.
I think the Yankees are going to start getting somebody loose here.
And the Yankees now have a right-hander just beginning to loosen. 28 pitches, 28 seconds between pitches for Sonny Gray. So he will really take his time. The pitch clock might get him next year.
Oh yeah. But you'd be surprised how much that does mess with the runner at first. You know, slowing down, taking your time. The longer you hold it, you know, I know Ellsbury's one of those guys where he likes to take a lead and go from his lead. And when you go slow like that, it's tough to do. It's a great hitters count right here.
3-1 on Betts. Benintendi on deck. Went for it, fouled it back. Gray's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. Fascinating that he has not recorded a strikeout, and he's thrown 95 pitches.
Well, the Red Sox have done a great job of, you know, working deep into counts. They're not giving up at bats. They're not up there swinging first pitch and trying to get to him. They're making him work, and you know, that's what they're known for.
Full count on Betts. Holt takes off, and it's popped up on the infield. Frazier, third baseman, moving toward the mound, and he's got it. Holt safely back to first. Benintendi will dig in next. CVS Health is investing $50 million over 5 years to extend their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives, moving us one step closer toward a tobacco-free generation. Learn more at cvshealth.com/be-the-first. Andrew in this one, a base hit and a fly to left, 1 for 2. Has hit 4 home runs in his last 8 games, up to 17. Now the crowd would like a little more offense. The Yankees have cut it to 2-1. with the home run by Brett Gardner. Overthrew that one to make it 2-0.
I think that time in between pitches, he has kind of gotten the crowd out of it. It's gotten a little quiet.
As a catcher involved in so many phases, does it wear you down a little bit when a guy takes this much time?
It does, and I mean, this is probably one of those times where I, go out there and try and talk to him and say, hey, listen, let's get ahead. That's key. If you can get ahead of a hitter and get him thinking, hey, I need to swing the bat. Nice hit right there to left field by Benintendi.
And Holt up to second. So Andrew with his second single today. He's 2 for 3.
And strike one's so important, especially against an aggressive team and a team that's got such good hitters. You want to get strike one and get them in the defense, and he's fell behind the last 2 hitters, and it's kind of hurt him.
Sanchez out to the hill. He makes a lot of mound visits. He is Gabby Sanchez.
Yeah, I think he's trying to give his pitcher in the bullpen a little more time to warm up. Joe's standing really high on that top step.
Yeah, it's Warren out there. He pitched last night, so that'll set up Hanley Ramirez. He's flied to right and doubled. Sox with 2 runs in the second inning on the 2-run triple by Jackie Bradley. The Yankees have a solo run on a home run by Gardner. Now looking for a little bit more breathing room. Hanley does have 3 home runs this season against the Yankees.
Hanley's had some success against Sonny as well, so it's a good matchup for him. 3 hits and 8 at bats. Small sample, but he has seen them.
Yep, and 1 for 2 today.
So 4 hits and 10 at bats. I was off.
You're learning bits and pieces. This is, we add on as we go.
I thought, yeah, I'm learning.
You're right there. I mean, you picked it up yourself. Devers on deck. And he flares that one foul. Hanley with 18 home runs. Does have 11 in his career against New York. Remember, he hit the walk-off home run against the Yankees last September, which was the first win of what turned out to be that critical 11-game winning streak for the Red Sox, during which they would eventually win the division.
That's a good feeling too.
And it was bedlam here at Fenway. And the 0-2 from Gray.
I know you want to be careful with Hanley here, but you got to kind of peek on deck and see who's on deck and know that you don't want to let this guy get up in a bases loaded situation with 1 out. Obviously he can do some damage.
And is Rafael Devers. Hold with a base hit. Benintendi with a base hit. Crowd would like another one. Or more from Hanley. Here's the 0-2 from Gray. Shot to center field. Hicks backing up. Reaches up and he's able to make the catch. Back to second is Brock Holt on a bullet. Wow. Hicks recovering at the last second to haul that in.
That saved 2 runs right there. I mean, that's all he can do. He's 1 step off, that ball's over his head, and we're seeing a lot of running.
A bullet by Hanley Ramirez, but nothing to show for that.
That's a tough situation. I mean, Brock had to kind of stay in the middle there. He couldn't commit because he needs to score if it gets over his head. It's a tough read. That ball was hit so hard. Ideally, he might want to have been at second base, tagging up, but like I said, that ball was hit so hard, you really don't have much time to react, and you want to make sure that it's down before you go.
Devers 0 for 1. He's flied out and been intentionally walked, and then he was picked off at first base by Sonny Gray. So the youngster to hit with 2 on and 2 out. 2-1 Boston here in the 5th. And according to Elias, Devers is the only player ever with 8 home runs in his first 20 games before turning 21 years old.
I'm telling you, the pitches he's taking right now, I mean, he is locked in.
Does not look like Sonny Gray is going to be very long for this game. He's up over 100 pitches already. And a high chop to the right side. Torres will flip on and get him and retire the side. So not in this inning for the Red Sox. They're going to strand 2. 2-1. Red Sox lead the Yankees. Toyota.com. McDonald's any McCafe Bakery muffin with any size hot or iced coffee, just $1.99. Subaru Retailers of New England, supplying all-wheel drive vehicles with a lot to love, and by Plainridge Park Casino, 45 minutes from Boston. Bright sunshine again, tight one here, nothing new there. Top of the 6th inning, 2-1. Red Sox have the lead as we welcome back Alex Spear of 108 Stitches and the Boston Globe. Great to see you again.
Great to see you guys. Welcome, Jared. Good
A little different, right?
Yeah, totally. Although, you know, I was here for Johnny as well, so it's good to see the 2013 guys rolling through.
The Bearded Brothers well represented here so far this season. Both of these clubs making moves at or around the deadline. The Yankees were very, very active. How do you size it up now? It's been a little while since the trade deadline. Red Sox obviously have had the better of the play on the field.
It's been so interesting in particular to see this series with Todd Frazier at Fenway Park, because you remember we had this conversation in this booth many times about how he has that made for Fenway swing that looked like it would be the perfect fit for what the Red Sox needed.
Gregorius tags this one. On the move, Jackie Bradley to run it down as smooth as silk for out number 1. He just always seems to get there. Sanchez will be next. Yeah, that was the conversation, but I don't know about you. I don't feel like a lot of Red Sox Nation was overly upset that the Sox didn't get him. I realize most of that has to do with the young man playing third base for the Red Sox.
I think there was initial consternation about the fact that the Red Sox missed an opportunity to get a power bat and wondering, oh, they got outmaneuvered by the Yankees. This is a commentary on the states of the two teams' farm systems, what kind of trade assets they have. Well, a lot of that went away in about 8 days, thanks to Rafael Devers just going bananas here and hitting 8 home runs in 20 games.
High fly ball by Sanchez, but he didn't get this one. Up into the sun, Benintendi to make the catch. 2 fast outs. And Headley will be next.
Yeah, that's a great acquisition by the Red Sox. Just call him up. You don't have to trade anybody. You don't have to get rid of anybody. Those are sometimes some of the best moves. And you know, 13 we had it with Bogarts, and you know, a lot of guys contributed that year.
Well, it's interesting because it's not just that they called up Devers, but of course they traded for Nunez, who was a third baseman, but also had the ability to move around the field. And at that point, you could start to see that Dustin Pedroia was going to have to work through injury issues over the rest of the year, and that, you know, Xander Bogaerts was getting tired. There were questions about his playing time. And so in getting a versatile guy, I actually asked this question of some Sox officials around the All-Star break. What do you prioritize in the trade market at third base? Do you prioritize versatility, or is it power? And they were kind of wrestling with that question, I feel like, at that time. Ultimately, they acquired the versatile guy. Think about it. If they had acquired Todd Frazier, Rafael Devers would still be sitting in the minors because he doesn't have that ability to slide over to different positions.
Perish the thought.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. I think that, you see it, like I said earlier, with Chris Carter, 40 home run guy, but he's getting a one-year deal, and I think that's partly because of the defense. I mean, defense is number one. Pitching and defense wins games, you know, and obviously it's paying off.
And I think you're right there. Dave Dombrowski recently referred to the Pablo Sandoval the decision.
Ground ball into the shift, and Brock Holt will collect and get him. Fast inning. Can he hang around another half inning?
Happy to do it.
1, 2, 3, they go. Porcello zipping through that frame, and the Sox are up by 1. By Amtrak. Save up to 25% with Sabre fares at Amtrak.com. Bottom half of the 6th on the way. Sonny Gray is done, and as Alex Spear can tell you in the booth and right here, his first big league start, which Gray has failed to strike out a batter, but went 5 innings.
Or any number of innings. He had just never. This is a guy who came up to the big leagues and kind of electrified the baseball world a little bit in 2012 when he was punching out guys left and right with double-digit strikeout games. So the fact of the Red Sox have been extraordinarily impressive in terms of ability to put the bat on the ball against guys who have kind of standout swing and miss stuff. We've seen it most dramatically in the late innings against some of those nuclear arms in the Yankees bullpen, as well as elsewhere. But even with a guy like Gray, the fact that they didn't have one punch out is pretty noteworthy.
The Red Sox, a team that really didn't get the memo about 2017. You're supposed to strike out a lot and hit a lot of home runs, and yet they're in first place by 4 games.
It's a little bit of a backwards approach relative to what the rest of the league is doing, except for the Astros. The Astros are mind-boggling because they've been a team that has the best contact rate, I believe, in the majors right now, and they're also hitting a ton of homers. How they're combining those things is remarkable, but the Red Sox have been a team that's accepted its identity. Mookie Betts has talked about it a few times this homestand, about how they aren't necessarily a team looking to drive the ball out of the park. They trust them. They trust their lineup to keep putting the ball in play, putting pressure on the opponents, getting enough hits to put together those late innings rallies.
And that's, I think, to the point about what the identity of this Red Sox team has become. Those late inning rallies, the walk-off wins, really exciting victories that seemed like an hour before the game was lost.
Yeah, I mean that's a testament, like you were saying, of each hitter knows their identity. Each hitter knows what they can do, and they trust themselves, and they know that if they don't get the job done, or if they have to take a walk, the guy on deck's going to pick them up. And that through a course of a season, you have to. You can't put the whole team on your back. You have to pass the baton, and they've been doing a great job of that.
Well, we mentioned 2013, and to a degree, there's been some aspects of this year that have reminded me of your team that year, particularly when it comes to the aggressiveness of the base running. I realize that the Red Sox have run into more outs on the bases than any other team in the majors. We all understand that. They're also among the top handful of teams in terms of extra base taken. You hear their guys talking about that extra 90 feet. To me, that was the difference for you guys in that 2013 ALCS against the Tigers. The ability to get 90 feet. Detroit couldn't.
Well, Brian Butterfield from day one in spring training.
Flying to center field. Hicks has been pretty busy out there. One man gone.
Day one in spring training, I mean, he preached it. And I mean, you didn't have to preach much to us in spring training. We knew we wanted to be there. It's not ultimately an individual game. It's not an individual goal. You're taking that extra base because you know that guy up at the plate gets a base hit, you can score for him, and you know that he's going to do the same for you. And at the end of the season, you can raise the trophy up together.
I think Brian Butterfield is the most popular coach I have ever met in
Look
baseball.
how good looking he is. I mean, he looks great in a uniform. He has to wear number 55. I don't know if anyone knows this. He has to wear 55 because his back is so big.
He's going to be in there for a strike on Moreland. Is this true in 2013 that you guys had an off night and Butter was in the hotel? He was just kicking back and relaxing. And somebody knocks at the door and he answers, and like 19 of you guys went pouring into his room.
Honestly, I think it was the whole team.
The whole team?
We had the whole team, and I tell you, it took him a while to answer. And we had to get Pedroia to actually say, hey, Butter, I need to talk to you, man. Something's not right. And right away the door opened, and he was in his boxers, and we just ran after him and tackled him.
And mugged him.
By far the most popular coach for sure.
He really is beloved.
His knowledge of hockey, too. I mean, you just got to talk to him about hockey. He's through the roof. He's watching game films every night after every game. Obviously a big Michigan fan too, so we have a lot of good talks.
And huge, over the moon Patriots fan.
Oh, of course.
Naturally, I think everybody knows that. And Terry Francona was messing with him when the Indians were in town and trying to get him real nervous. He kept barking at him, hey, Butter, you hear about Brady's knee today? Did you see that? Oh man, that didn't look good. Just giving it to him.
He's got Brady on his hotline. He's already knows before the day how Brady's eating for breakfast, what's going on, family life. I mean, he gives Brady a run for his money with looks too. I feel.
There you go.
Maybe foot speed.
Oh, without a doubt.
3-1, a strike. They're going to get Chapman going in the bullpen. We've talked about the fact that he's lost that role as the closer.
What an unusual thing to see him getting up at this stage of the game, I guess, except last year in the World Series. But I don't know. He's had those leg injuries, and you see the velocity still being huge. You wonder if that signature stride length has been affected so that 101.
That one looped the other way. Pretty good job of hitting there for a base hit. The liner from Orland. He's on for the first time.
Got full with a changeup, but was still able to put it out there because he wasn't trying to pull the ball.
A couple of their lefties have really been using the opposite field today. But getting back to Chapman, yeah, I've been wondering whether or not his stride length is affected to the point where that 102 that would just explode on hitters and they had no shot at is suddenly a hittable pitch if he's releasing it from, let's say, a foot further away from the plate.
I don't know. You just said 102 is a hittable pitch.
We've seen it with Joe Kelly. For most of the season, he had the highest average fastball velocity in the majors, the lowest swing and miss rate.
That one will squirt underneath Sanchez, and to second base easily is Moreland on what I assume will be a wild pitch. Yeah, Chapman working potentially this early in the game after being a superstar closer. What I keep thinking about is the Red Sox are in his head.
Yeah.
In a big way.
I would agree with that. And you could answer this question way better than me because I was never a big believer in the spin rate and all that stuff. But I did talk to Verlander a lot last year, and he was a big believer in spin rate and all that. And I am now starting to believe in that. So I wonder what his spin rate is and if it has gone down, or because he does have that ability. You see it really well, but it just gets on you. It's 102, obviously, but he's going to throw the fastball, but still you couldn't touch it. And now it seems like guys are touching it.
Well, you saw the best. You had an incredible view of the guy who was the best demonstration of the impact of spin rate. That was Koji. Koji's 88-mile-an-hour fastball, the reason why it exploded over bats left and right was because it had just a top-of-the-charts spin rate relative to kind of what you'd expect for its velocity. So guys just would misread it. They'd see it coming in at one velocity and perceive it at another in a way that it made it almost impossible for them to be on time with anything that he threw.
Right. And then he had that split that was just Bugs Bunny. He knew exactly where he was throwing it every time. I mean, and going back to what I said earlier, strike one so important. He was probably one of the best at that.
Strike one, strike two. I mean, those were hilarious outings to see him with 80% strike rates.
Fouled back, and you'd look at the fastball velocity. It's 87, 88 miles an hour, and he'd make good hitters look pretty foolish.
Yeah.
By doing it, and it didn't make sense.
Increasingly, there's a conversation among scouts that whereas velocity was the thing that was really prioritized when they were looking for guys trying to figure out, how does he project down the road, for many, many years, they're starting to become kind of about velocity because it's so commonplace to see 95, even at the amateur levels, even at the high school levels, that it no longer has the same impact. Hitters are becoming acclimated to coming up in a universe where 95 is just a normal fastball. I think the major league average fastball is now 93. That's an average guy right now. That would have been high end when you broke into the big leagues 10 years ago.
Without a doubt. And I mean, I've always said it, you got to go back to pitching. And when I was with the Atlanta Braves, I watched Smoltz, Maddox, Glavine, all those guys. Their first 2-3 weeks of spring training, they threw 30 pitch bullpens, and it was 15 fastballs to one side, 15 fastballs to the other, and that's what they worked on first.
They on with a ground ball, got by the mound. Gregorius has a range and gun to get him. And down to third is Moreland with 2 down, and Jackie Bradley with a chance to get the Red Sox back in front by a couple of runs. 2-1 here as we visit with Alex Spear of the Boston Globe and 108 stitches. See, those shadows have now crept out in front of home plate.
Not easy to hit with those shadows.
2 down Jackie with a 2-run triple and a ground out to first base.
It's been interesting to see the Red Sox offensive explosion this month at a time when they're still really waiting for Bogarts, for Bradley, for Betts to get into any kind of a consistent scheduled production. That was obviously a huge swing for Bradley.
And going back to Nunez, you talked about him earlier, and I think he has brought that spark back to this team. And obviously Petey's the leader, the captain, the spark plug. He always has been. I know he's on the bench, taped up, ready to go. And Nunez is he's not unfamiliar to this situation. He's been in the AL East, he's been with the Yankees, been in playoff situations. So it's a win-win situation. He's going to come over here and he's going to be able to be successful.
There's also, I think, a significance to having that guy who comes over in the middle of the year where people are starting to, I mean, it's tiring coming out through late July into early August, and having that guy who is high energy, who's loud. You hear Nunez kind of chattering as soon as he's inside of the clubhouse. I do think there's something to that.
Get down.
That floats. Here comes Judge. He's not going to get it. And Moreland is in to score. And Jackie Bradley has his 3rd RBI of the day. Sounded like he busted the bat. He'll take it. And the Sox are in front 3-1.
That's a big, big run right there.
Stays on the changeup and just, it didn't quite dive enough, so he was able to get the end of the bat out on it, pull it into right center field, and just contact. Contact is a big deal.
Not trying to do too much, and like we were talking about earlier, just making contact.
Wild pitch was a big part of that inning.
Big time.
And that'll do it for Warren. It'll be Aroldis Chapman coming on now. What a strange sight indeed. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning to see their former closer and one of the great closers in baseball the last 5 or 6 years coming on. We'll take the break. More with Alex Spear when we return. Red Sox on top of the Yankees 3-1. reimagined.
Jackie Bradley doing a great job, being able to do something with what his teammates have done in front of him and get on base for him, and he drives the ball into the gap right there to get a triple, get 2 runs, and then later on in the game he does a great job with not trying to do too much and just taking a changeup, hitting it to right field, and taking an easy RBI.
So he is 2 for 3 today with the 3 RBIs, the triple, and the base hit. Just driving in Mitch Moreland from third base. And so now Chapman will make an appearance in the 6th inning.
This is the first time since 2011 that he's appeared in a game in the 6th inning. He's only done it 5 times. He was good doing it in 2011, but that was before he had become, the Aroldis Chapman, one of the great late innings forces in the game.
It's going to be interesting to see how he does, because I know in a closer situation, anytime there's a blowout and your closer hasn't pitched in a while, you want to get him in there, and they usually tend to struggle because it's not a high intensity situation. So moving him into a 6th inning, and I know they're just trying to get his confidence back and have some success and get him back on track.
You always wonder about adrenaline.
Yes.
Because these guys live on it.
Exactly. And this is a tight situation for him, but it's also 3 innings before what he's used to.
One in which they just want to see him throwing strikes and attacking hitters.
And I know Joe put him in this situation. He could have brought him in earlier against Jackie with a runner on third, but you wanted to have success, so that's why he waited another inning, and he was hoping for him to put him in the 7th, I'm sure, but he wants him to have a clean inning where he can go out there and have some success and get his confidence back up.
Left on left with the shadows doesn't hurt.
No.
99.
Brock Holt 1 for 3 with a single. 2 down and a run in, and that'll be in there for strike 3.
Nobody can hit that pitch.
End of 6. Alex, thanks so much for being with us.
Great seeing you guys.
Always fun. 3-1 Red Sox in front of the Yankees.
Presented by Foxwoods Resort Casino, the official resort casino of the Boston Red Sox, and by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. The moving ceremony before the game honoring Jerry and his 30 years of broadcasting games on NES. And of course, we're honoring the Rem Dog #2 all day long. And as he gets ready for his next round of treatments, we came out here to Section 2, where fans want to send him into that with a standing ovation. Let's hear it for Jerry Remy. Jerry, Section 2 speaking for all of Fenway Park tonight, wishing you nothing but the best and a quick return to the booth. Even the Yankee fans here in Section 2 want you back in the booth, Rem Dog.
Well, that's a touch of class, huh? Great to hear that. Thank you, TC. Red Sox on top here 3-1 as we go to the 7th inning. The day is done for Rick Porcello, who can win it, as Brandon Workman comes on in relief, where he has been awfully tough. A 1.46 earned run average. This will be his 18th appearance.
Yeah, and Rick did a great job. I know he probably wanted to go a little deeper into the game, but being able to give those tough situations and give his team a chance, and hand it off to Workman, who a couple nights ago had to come in and give a few innings after Pomeranz was injured.
Well, Porcello is due some good fortune against the Yankees. He's actually pitched well against them on several occasions and had nothing to show for it, but 6 innings today, 1 run, and allowing only 3 hits. Red Sox getting in 3 runs, all courtesy of Jackie Bradley Jr. with a triple and an RBI base hit. Frazier in this one with a walk and a pop-up. And drilled in there at 90. Tyler Austin on deck, and then Torreyes, the number 9 hitter. And Reed loosening up. So ideally for John Farrell, 7th inning belongs to this guy. A high fly ball into left, but not deep enough. Benintendi with that catch. Time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's Adam Pellerin. A 45 for Stanton.
Ugh. You know what? That shows you. I mean, he's healthy finally. I mean, he's had a couple years where he's been injured, and some rare injuries, not just little knickknacks here and there. He's had some injuries that's kept him out the rest of the season. I was there the night he got hit in the face. I mean, that was probably the most scariest moment in baseball that I've been a part of. And for him to come back and put the seasons he's put together after something like that, just shows how impressive he is. And
well, you're so right. I mean, to be able to overcome that psychologically.
Big time. I mean, he went to the face mask for a little bit, and then he went away from it. And I think I've seen D. Gordon talk about it. He's angry this year. It seems like he's angry. Everyone's been talking about him in the contract, and he's playing like he's angry, and he's not stopping.
Not a good idea to get Stanton angry.
No. Gentle giant, but he definitely don't want to make him mad.
Good teammate?
Very good teammate. Quiet. I mean, he kind of comes in the clubhouse. He's a fit guy, so he comes in, he works out, he constantly stretches, eats healthy, but he wants to win. He didn't sign there. Yeah, money is there, but he wants to win. He wants to be a part of a winning team, and things are changing over there.
And now he's going to be playing for Derek Jeter.
Not a bad owner.
I think that's a welcome change for a lot of folks in South Florida.
I think so too. I think so.
Red Sox in front here, 3-1 over the Yankees, trying to take 2 out of 3 again from New York. Austin struck out in the 2nd, again in the 4th. To center field, charging on Jackie Bradley, and Jackie with the catch. 2 up and 2 down. Time of the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Pitching probables for the series against the Indians. Clevenger against Erod tomorrow. Eduardo Rodriguez 4-3, 397 earned run average. Doug Fister going Tuesday. Drew Pomeranz says he can pitch on Wednesday. And Chris Sale back on the bump on Thursday. Pomeranz forced out of the game the other night early. Were called originally back spasms. He was talking about the hip area.
Yeah, and I saw him throwing a bullpen today, so that's always a good sign. Watching him, throw and coming in from the bullpen, looked like he was walking fine. So I think that's a good sign because he's been pitching great.
He's had a standout year. Torreyes with a high floater down the right field line. Mookie Betts headed for the seats and can't get to it, off into the stands.
Yeah, I think that's why depth is so important, and a guy like Brandon Workman, who's been in tons of different situations is so valuable to teams because he can give you a couple innings if he needs to. You know, you go into spring training with a 25-man roster and a 5-man starting rotation, but you always use more than that. You know, so it's always nice to have guys that can come in and fill in when you need to. It's a long season.
6 innings out of Rick Porcello, strong again here today. And then John Farrell clearly wants to do Workman, Reed, Kimbrel.
Without a doubt.
And the 0-2. And a routine ground ball. Hoovered up by Bogarts. And another good inning out of Brandon Workman, who continues to get it done out of that bullpen. We're going to keep it here for God Bless America on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. And tomorrow at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. Adam, Tim, and Lenny will preview tomorrow's matchup from Cleveland. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
Sox Foundation helps make dreams come true for the families of New England. Each game you aid in these life-changing efforts by supporting the 50-50 raffle. Today's winning numbers are now posted on the center field video board. And now, before Josh Cantor leads us in the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, we ask you to please rise. Here to perform God Bless America, please welcome 2 young Red Sox fans and sisters who perform in musical productions. 10-year-old Annie and 12-year-old Rosie, the Rossi sisters.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The electric poll question: Should there be a limit on the number of mound visits per inning? Well, Salty's not thrilled with the idea. I love the idea. And Salty, I win.
I was not very persuasive. The people do not care what I think.
81%.
Which is okay.
I say 1 an inning. And that'll help. We'll see how that goes next year. I think there are changes coming.
I do too. I said all along that I felt like they need to kind of speed it up and maybe limit the visits to the mound. You know, I've been saying that for a long time now.
Long time you've been behind that idea.
Yeah.
About time people were catching up.
I agree.
Mookie in this one, 0 for 3. He'll be followed by Benintendi and then Hanley Ramirez. There was a chance that Nunez might bat for Brock Holt in the 6th inning with a man aboard, but you know, John Farrell is very fond of when he gives a guy a day off. It's often the entire day unless pressed into it.
I agree. I mean, you don't get very many of those, and you know, thankfully there was a 2-run lead that he can kind of stick with that. It's always nice to have that option on the bench.
We'll see if he does wind up using him. He is available. And the 3-0, a strike on Mookie.
I don't know. If I was a player on the bench, those two guys that we were just showing, I'd want to sit next to them. Maybe something would rub off on me, and I'd be holding their bats and maybe get a couple knocks.
They've become a tight combo. These two guys have had such an impact. The 3-1 fouled away.
I think this is smart by Joe by bringing him back out there, let him have a clean inning. You know, nobody on base. You know, once again, try and get that confidence back.
(3-2), and he walked him. And of course, has been a big issue for the back end of the Yankee bullpen. Ball 4, and Monday, September 4th, is Dennis Eckersley hat night at Fenway. First 12,000 in attendance receive an Eckersley hat and mustache presented by Granite City Electric. There's the real deal right there. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/promos. They actually provide 3 Eck mustaches on that little package that comes with it. And of course, the moss as well.
Legendary.
Benintendi. Throw to first base to get Mookie Betts back in. Andrew in this one with 2 singles and a fly to left.
Yeah, it shows you how good the Yankees bullpen stuff is. If you can have that many walks, you know, obviously you got some tight situations, and they're able to get out of their situation because they've had so much success. So, you know, they're not too concerned.
Three runs on 9 hits for the Red Sox, no errors. A run, 3 hits. That's all for the Yankees, and no errors. Sonny Gray left the game after 5. High pitch count. 2 runs, 7 hits. Didn't strike out a batter for the first time in his career. A ball and a strike on Benintendi.
That's those ones that look so good, and you swing and you're like, how did I miss it? Then you look at the scoreboard and it says 99. And
yeah, maybe that's a good reason. Hanley Ramirez on deck. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Red Sox and the Yankees will see each other again on August 31st. That'll be a 4-game series, and the last series of the regular season between the two rivals. 1-2 on Andrew.
Not sure if the Yankees have any off days, but I would assume for that 4-game series they're going to try and get their starting rotation kind of lined up almost in a playoff situation where you want to get your best 4 out there to try and take 3 or 4 from the Red Sox and maybe get back in it.
No doubt. You know for sure that Sabathia will be lined up to pitch. Chris Sale will pitch. Who knows, could be do or die for the Yankees by then.
Yep. I think both managers are in that situation where they're starting to look at that. You know, they're seeing how their schedule is lining up, and you know what they can do. keep guys healthy, but at the same time, they know that every game is important.
39 games left after today.
I'm going to try and keep Betts at first.
Look at the road ahead here, presented by People's United Bank. The 4 with the Indians, 3 at home, and then right back on the road, Toronto and the Yankees. Boy, September is not far away, Salty.
It's unbelievable. That's a good travel schedule, though. At least you don't have to go to the West Coast.
Right, already done that. We looked at that around the All-Star break, and you know, the second half, very fortuitous scheduling for the Red Sox. Many more home games, shorter trips. West Coast was getting out of the way very early after the break. That trip to LA and Seattle before July was out.
Well, I know that was the first thing my wife used to look at, because she wanted to see where the summers, where we were going to be, if we were going to be too far or home. And you know, as a player, you want to see where you were in the.
Pops out of the mitt, Betts down to second.
That's a tough. There's nothing he could do about that. That ball was a hard fastball in the other batter's box. Did whatever he could to try and keep it in front.
It's 101 miles an hour. In and out.
With these shadows, left-handed. I used to say that when I was opposing hitter, the Red Sox used to put Lester on the mound on Sunday day games, or Case and Gabbard at the time, you know, because that center field, they used to sell those seats out, and you had white shirts coming out of everywhere, and it was tough to see a left-handed pitcher.
Sure. Well, a man in scoring position, nobody out. Big run out there at second base, and Mookie Betts. Red Sox ahead 3-1, and here comes Sanchez again. Well, did you miss NESN Clubhouse? Catch a special encore presentation. The Sox have one of the most dominant lefties on the mound. This is a special lefties episode. Not to mention rookies at the dish. Learn more about Chris Sale and Rafael Devers. Plus, Andrew Benintendi takes the hot seat in Small Talk. Catch it all tonight after Red Sox coverage on NESN Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. Girardi on the horn.
Yeah, Benny's got one thought in his mind right now. He says, I want to get that guy to third.
2-2. A walk, a wild pitch. That was what that was ruled. Again, nobody out, and a 2-2. Runner goes and fouled away, and he had it stolen.
Yes, big time.
Mookie has to retreat to second base, but what a jump.
And you know, that's tough. Benny did a great job being able to get a piece of that. You know, he could have worn it and took the strikeout and had him get to third. But everything's happening so quick, and you see a guy get a big jump like that. You know, you're trying to do one job. Like I said, he's trying to get him over to third.
The Red Sox on Friday night engineered a double steal off of Chapman.
Was there a catcher involved in that?
I believe.
Okay.
It would have been one Christian Vasquez on the move as part of that double steal. 3-2. That's Canely throwing in the bullpen. Tommy Canely.
They have not made it easy on any of the Yankees pitchers today.
A full count on Benintendi. High fly ball. Here comes Judge fighting the sun a little bit. He'll make the play and holding Mookie. But now he takes off. How about this? He's into third. He deked him. Wow.
He did a great job. I'm telling you, these guys are smart, hard-nosed ball players. He deked him, got him thinking he wasn't going to go. Judge kind of took a little bit off his throw, knowing that he wasn't tagging. And Mookie deked him and took off.
Judge just lobbed it in, assuming Mookie was content to hold, and he robbed him.
And that's what it takes to win games. Just little situations like that. It's not the 3-run homer. It's the little things that help, you know, championship caliber teams win championships.
That is so darn smart. And unfair.
And I don't think that's the first time he's done it. I think I've been on a few parts of those. He's done it with the catcher, where the catcher throws it back soft and he takes off. It's a smart ball player for sure.
He's a great base runner, and this was one of his more dynamic plays on the bases. So the infield has to come in. Here's Hanley.
And now he's giving his teammate an opportunity to get an RBI.
Remember, too, for Sanchez, the pass ball has been an issue. It's already been a wild pitch in the inning, because Chapman can be all over the place. And a foul tip to the mitt. First one at 100 miles an hour. Strike one. Hanley does have a double. He's also lined out sharply to center field. He's had a couple of good swings today.
He has. He's hit the ball hard, stayed up the middle, got the base hit to left. You know, he's got the infield in right now, so he's trying to think, I need to get a ball in the air against a guy that obviously throws hard, so you don't want to try and do too much.
.102 to make it 0-2. From sunshine into the shadow at 102 miles an hour.
And spotted too. Down and in, bottom of the zone. Felt like I was 0-2 every time I walked up to the plate.
Devers on deck. That could be really fun again. And the 0-2 to Hanley.
Wow.
Close.
It's tough to take that. He threw 2 in a row at 100 miles an hour in that spot, and then he throws another on 101, and you take it.
Sox have a man at third without the benefit of a hit in the inning, thanks to Betts and that cagey base running. Set to score, one down, infield leaning in for the Yankees. And Chapman with a 1-2 pitch.
Great job fighting that one off. Pretty sure Chapman knows who's on deck too.
My guess is he's peaked. He's taking a look. Red Sox up 3-1 in the 7th inning. Hoping to add another here is Hanley Ramirez. He battles on another one at 100 miles an hour plus.
He's not shying away from the fastball.
What an encounter, an epic encounter last Sunday night between these two. Devers waiting his turn, but right now it's on Hanley. Betts at third base. Two and two as he had to pull it down. Sanchez did. Not the fastball there.
Nope. I mean, as a catcher and a pitcher right now, you've seen him late on the fastball. You definitely don't want to do him a favor and speed his bat up by throwing an off-speed pitch in the zone. You know, so you got to be careful with it. And he tried to be a little too careful, left it up. Thankfully, he was able to get that one back.
Chapman's 2-2. Popped up into center, charging on Hicks, and he'll make the catch. Mookie Betts will stay put.
They weren't going to make that mistake again. They got that ball in pretty quick.
Yeah, they did. So 2 away, and now Devers marching up to swing against Chapman.
Well, they got a base open, but do you want to face a righty or do you want to face Devers?
Let's see what Girardi does here with a runner at third base and a red-hot rookie coming to hit. He's homered in 3 consecutive games against the Yankees. ...103 miles an hour. It went out harder than that. Red Sox would tie it and eventually beat the Yankees. Devers in this one is flied out. He's been intentionally walked, and he's grounded out to second. Two down. Betts leading at third. And a strike. Dropped in that breaking ball.
Back-to-back breaking balls. This one backed up on him a little bit, so, you know, Devers had to kind of buckle a little bit. Obviously, you're not expecting it to do that. I think Chapman's going to be careful with him. You have to. You know, the guy's proven that he can hit you, so you want to be careful and got a base open.
And he's 2 for 2 off him. Again, not getting the heat. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just so balanced. I mean, even his swing and fouls or swing and misses, he's not off by much.
Sits safely in 17 of his first 20 games. Swung on and missed. He came up empty on that one, and down he goes. That one 101 miles an hour for strike 3. Red Sox strand a man at third. Boston on top, 3-1. Toyota.com. Franklin Sports, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball. Foxwoods, the official resort casino of the Boston Red Sox. And by Ford Trucks, built Ford Tough, the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. To the 8th inning. Beautiful day. Red Sox leading 3-1. Trying to take 2 out of 3 again from the Yankees, as the Sox did last weekend in the Bronx. And move on to Cleveland with a 5-game lead. It's at 4 at the moment. Addison Reed now will get the baseball, appearing in his 9th game of the Red Sox. Thought a really key performance for him in picking up the win the other night in this series.
Big time. I mean, he came in, was able to give an inning and a third, shutout ball. And, you know, I've played with this guy. He's a competitor. He wants the ball any situation, anytime. The bigger the situation, the better he is. And, you know, I think that the Red Sox fans are gonna wind up liking him a lot.
Going to get the top of the order in Gardner, Hicks, and Judge. And Gardner last time out hammered a home run down the right field line, his 20th of the season. He's also singled and stolen a base. He's been a bit of a pest at the top of the order. Brandon Workman was flawless in the 7th inning. He got the 1-2-3. The last inning for Rick Porcello was 1-2-3. So the last 8 Yankees have been retired in order. Red Sox pitching continues to excel. We've talked a lot about home runs. We've talked a lot about trades and what the Red Sox have done to improve themselves offensively. In the end, this team is winning because of pitching.
Without a doubt. I mean, that's what always, you know, you hear it constantly. Pitching and defense.
Holt sprawling up and gunning. Close. Ooh. And did he get him? He got him.
Great play.
Delayed call over there, but got him.
I hope Brock's okay.
Down to get it on the grass. And a bang play.
Wow. He did a great job, not only getting to that ball, but getting up quick and making a good throw over to Mitch. Mitch took a brunt of that.
And Girardi was thinking about challenging. He will not do it. Moreland able to hang on and get him. So Gardner is retired. 1 man away. They'll send up Aaron Hicks, who struck out twice and grounded out to first. Sox going into play today ranks second in the American League in ERA at 3.68. Cleveland 3.57. And they're about to square off in Cleveland. Although today Kansas City has 6 runs against the Indians. They're into the 7th inning.
That's a tight division. You know, it used to be a division where you always saw one team up by 17 at the end of the season, and you know, now you always got a 2 or 3 team race.
Fly ball, pretty well hit. A battle with that sun, and Mookie will make the catch. Well, he handled it beautifully, but a blinding sun out there in right field. 2 down. Time to see who's on track. Presented by Amtrak.
Like we talked about earlier, Porcello was great today. Had all his pitches working. He made sure that he wasn't going to make a mistake over the middle of the plate. So he made some pitches on the corners, was able to keep hitters off balance. Just did a great job. Kept his team in it.
Just 3 hits off Rick Porcello over 6 innings for the Yankees. Judge is hitless. He's flying to center, grounded to second, popped to first.
No strikeout.
That is correct. So he may yet end that string of 36 consecutive games, which is a major league record in which he has struck out. Or perhaps not.
The crowd's getting into it now.
1-2.
I don't know if he. I honestly don't think he cares much about that. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to strike out, but I don't think he's losing sleep at night. You know, I think he's focused on what he can do to help the team win.
He's had a great year. Not a great second half to this point, of course, but 37 homers, 80 RBIs.
Yep. I mean, you got to, and as a baseball player, as a human, to go home every night in sanity, you got to realize where you were last year and how you made yourself better and what you can do to get better the next day.
And he has become a star.
Yep.
And still the man to beat in the Rookie of the Year, no doubt about that. Even though Benintendi has closed the gap, I think, significantly.
Yes, I agree.
Since the All-Star break. And the 2-2 from Reed. Well,
there you go.
He strikes out for the 37th consecutive game, and Reed gets him 1-2-3. The bullpen very sharp again. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. A gorgeous summer day here at Fenway Park and Boston. It is 3-1. The Sox have the lead. As we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the lead over the Yankees, trying to make it back-to-back weekends in which they win the series over New York. Tommy Kahnle out of their bullpen. As you look at his numbers combined between the Yankees and the White Sox, 2-4 with a 2.61 ERA. First man in will be Xander Bogaerts, and the Sox with a 2-run lead. And Kimbrel beginning to loosen in the bullpen.
Red Sox are looking to have a happy flight.
Heading to Cleveland, and 4 games with a very good Indians team. Xander on the day 1 for 3 with a base hit and a run. He scored, and so did Sandy Leon. And Salty is very proud to say all the way from first base on the triple by Jackie Bradley.
Yep, speed never takes a day off.
And Jackie's added an RBI single. He has 3 RBIs today. He has driven in all the Red Sox runs. As mentioned, the closer getting ready. Been a delightful day, Jerry Remy day here at Fenway Park as the Rem Dog came back. He's about to start chemotherapy on Tuesday for the first time. And it was so wonderful to see him here as the Red Sox made several presentations. He was over the moon about the big screen. Gets to see his beloved Patriots on the 75-inch screen. That'll be ball 4.
It's like a little kid on Christmas, wasn't he?
I knew that.
I would be too, though, I think.
It just meant so much for him to be back on the field and then in a broadcast booth. Look for the reaction. That's for Phoebe right there. Because Phoebe wouldn't let him have one because he's got to pay for the wedding. His daughter's getting married.
Think he's got a spot picked out for it?
Just a little bit, yeah. For about a year. I think he's like a kid on Christmas morning. You're right, because he sits 3 feet from the television and watches it. You know. He charts plays. It's Moreland, base hit last time up and came around to score.
Interesting how they pitched to him the other night. They threw him 3 changeups, and he's got another crack at him. He started with the heater. Might pitch him hard early, soft late.
Bogaerts on ball 4. '97 in. Marlins 1 for 2 off him.
They got the shift on him now, and that's right where Gregorius is. I think is where he hit the ball the other night.
Playing up the middle, the right side of the bag for the shortstop. And a 1-1. Leon on deck.
Speed demon.
One, 2 on the way to Mitch Moreland. 2-2.
There's that changeup.
The changeup he is very fond of.
It's a good pitch, especially when you throw 99 miles an hour, and I mean that's the perfect spot. Mitch did a great job not, swinging at that pitch. Ball at the dirt, gonna get a new one.
Sonny Gray, the Yankees starter, only went 5, threw over 100 pitches. And as of now, he would take the loss. Rick Porcello would win it. If Rick gets the win, that's 4 straight.
Yeah, well-deserved one too.
Socked the other way, foul.
Bogey's not taking any chances over there at first. He's about I want to say 5 feet off the bag.
Cautious. Now, of course, there's already been a pick in the game.
Yep.
Devers was picked off at first base. Nobody out, runner on, and the 2-2. He takes ball 3. Red Sox have been very, very patient throughout this entire series with the Yankee staff.
Yeah, I mean, that's key to everything, is being aggressive, but being aggressive to your pitch. And that's what the Red Sox have done this series, is they're aggressive because they want to hit the pitch, but they're looking for a certain pitch, certain location, and they're not getting off of it until they get 2 strikes like Mitch is right here, and he's making sure that he's getting a pitch up in the zone.
If he draws a walk, it'll be the 5th Yankee pitcher walk of the day. And Canley with a 3-2 runner holding. And a high fly lifted to left. That's well hit. Gardner's back. It's going to be off that shelf. Here comes Bogart slamming on the brakes. As the throw comes in, he has to dive back, and he's safe. Home plate umpire Barksdale had to beat it up the line. Into second is Mitch Moreland, and he almost went too far.
Tell you what, Bogey did a great job. As soon as that ball's off the bat, he took off. He was thinking about scoring. I think he was almost at second whenever he almost went too far.
Does get back in. And Moreland with another double. He has 2 hits today.
It's a great piece of hitting right there. I mean, he laid off two strike pitches. They were, borderline down. He laid off of them, got a fastball up in the zone that he was looking for, and was able to hit it off the wall. Look at Bogey. He's going right off the bat. He knows it. It's getting off the wall. He's not stopping.
So the infield is in for the Yankees. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Sandy Leon with a chance to put a giant hurt on the Yankees. 1 for 2 with a base hit. Runners at second and third.
Here's that changeup.
First pitch change. He was out in front. Sandy typically a very good situational hitter.
He's a very good contact hitter. So in this situation here, obviously he wants to get a pitch up in the zone that he can get it in the outfield and get a run in. Being a contact guy.
Little dribbler, but foul. And this is the moment of moments for Salty today.
Without a doubt. And this is why he deserves a big RBI knock right now. For a catcher to be able to score. Look at him motoring. I mean, there's no stopping that.
And this is on a bad knee, by the way.
I mean, day game after a night game, motoring. He's not even tired. Doesn't need oxygen. He needs to get a big knock right here.
He's down 2 strikes. That's Caleb Smith, left-hander, loosening in the bullpen for the Yankees. Greg Kimbrell is all loosened up in the Sox pen. Xander Bogaerts at third. Mitch Moreland after the double at second. And time granted. The man who has been Mr. RBI today for the Sox is Jackie Bradley, and he's on deck. He has 3. Roped down the line.
Let him run. Let him run.
Bogaerts in. Moreland in. Leon into second.
He could have had 3.
Well, he has 2, and that's RBIs.
He deserved every bit of that.
5-1 Sox. He hit the daylights out of it. His second hit of the day.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to what these catchers are doing for the Red Sox. I mean, playing every day, you get in a rhythm and you feel good. You're comfortable with your pitching staff. You're able to see the pitches every day. But sitting on the bench for 2 days and then playing a day or two, it's not easy. And both these catchers have done a phenomenal job being able to put a good at bat together and help their team win.
Well, Sandy Leon has had a very good day. Not so much Joe Girardi. Here he comes. And with Jackie Bradley West. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, the Sox have opened it up. A 5-1 lead. And Chile going to the iPad again with the new pitcher coming out of the bullpen, a left-hander Caleb Smith. Not a lot known about him. Not at the big league level anyway. He was recalled from AAA on Tuesday. It made his major league debut on the 17th of July at Minnesota and took the loss there.
Yeah, and there's so many stats out there these days, and you know, I think the good part is I think Pawtucket plays against these guys in AAA, so I'm sure they get some word from them and the scouting department. See, Kimbrel's not up anymore, which is always a good sign.
Jackie Bradley in the box. He's had an excellent day with a 2-run triple and a run-scoring single. Sox have now out-hit New York 11-3. They'll take in tight for a ball. In the inning, Xander Bogaerts with a walk to lead it off, and then Moreland with the double down the left field line off the wall, and then Sandy Leon just pouncing, ripping a 2-run double down the right field line.
Like a cheetah.
The 1-0. 2-0. It's a Bond throwing in the pen now, as you mentioned. Kimbrel no longer throwing, even though Craig had warmed up. At the moment, not a save situation. A 4-run split.
And that's huge. I mean, with the 20-game run getting ready to go up, I mean, anytime you can give those guys a day off in the pen, let your starters go deep, or give your closer a day, you know, those are key, especially this late in the season and this type of run they're on. I know the fans would like to see him. So would I, but.
Came in the other night, struck out 3 consecutive Yankees. Here's the 3-0. And he walked him. Nothing really to swing at for Jackie, so he is on base for the 3rd time. Speedway is proud to be New England's first choice for value and convenience, and for every Red Sox home run this season, Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital, all during the month of August in Massachusetts. Use your Speedy Rewards card when you purchase $3 of in-store merchandise and get 10 cents off a gallon. Well, Brock Holt going all the way today. He's got 1 for 4 with a base hit. He's also made an outstanding defensive play on a diving stop in right field.
Yeah, it's not always what you do at the plate. It's what you do on the field that can help your team win.
And an opportunity to really put this game out of reach.
Yes. A little breathing room. A couple 2 nights in a row of some tight ball games. It'd be nice to have a little breather.
And Smith with a 1-0. That one belted into right field. That'll drop down. Leon is into third. Brian Butterfield will hold him. Judge firing in, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. 2 hits today for Brock Holt.
That was a great piece of hitting. I mean, he just threw 6 balls in a row, so 5 balls in a row. One would think he's taken, but nope. Brock's looking for a certain pitch in a certain location and being aggressive, and he was able to get a knock out of it. Now I know Leon didn't score. He probably could have. But I know Butter's thinking, hey, you know, let's give Mookie an RBI here.
I'm surprised you didn't say he could have scored easily.
Well, he could have, but you know, I don't want to sound biased.
Yeah, right. A long day for Girardi. Another long series for him against the Sox. And here's Mookie Betts. So far, he's been pretty quiet. 0 for 3 with a walk, but he got noisy on the bases in that 7th inning. Got to second on a wild pitch, and then wound up going to third on a pretty short fly ball to righty, Deke Judge, who lobbed in the throw.
That was a great play by him. Even though it's been a quiet day for him, it's still really hard on the pitcher and the catcher, because when you're going through your game reports before the game, you know Mookie's good, you know he doesn't have very many holes, so it's a lot of pressure, and he sees pitches, so he doesn't have any hits on the day, but at the same time he's stressed out some pitchers and maybe caused them to make some mistakes to the guys behind him.
A chance for a very big hit right here. Got a piece. Mookie in his career has been very solid with the bases loaded.
Got away with one right there.
Man at every base with Leon, Bradley, and Holt filling them up. Bottom of the 8th, 2 runs in, 5-1 Sox. Nobody out. And the Wolf is really at the door for the Yankees here. If Mookie Betts can get a hold of one. Red Sox with 12 hits, the Yankees with only 3. That is Brian Mitchell, the right-hander, throwing in their bullpen. Smith takes a sign from Sanchez. Here comes a 1-2 to Mookie. Fouled away.
You don't see too many swings by Mookie on that, so you can tell those shadows are definitely playing.
Mookie leading the ball club with 76 RBIs. And 1-2. And missed badly. Sanchez has on a couple of occasions had an unusual kind of stab at it or been a little awkward back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell, but I mean, I know from experience it is tough to see with those shadows. So, you know, and I don't know how much he's caught this guy as well. I mean, maybe a situation where he's not very familiar with them.
Could that have been a cross up there?
It could be a crossover. It could be a situation where he's just not sure what he has to get the guy out with 2 strikes. You know, you don't catch a guy a lot, so sometimes you don't talk before the game to say, hey, what are you comfortable with 2 strikes? Is your changeup your out pitch, your curveball? You know, so maybe it's, hey, let's switch some signs up and find out what you want to throw right here.
2-2, and he got him. And he struck him out. Mookie fans caught looking for the first out of the inning.
This is a breaking ball that kind of locked him up a little bit. Like I said, he could have went out there and talked to him and said, hey, listen, you know, this is a big pitch right here. You know, make your pitch. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Focus on one pitch at a time.
Now Benintendi, who already has 2 hits, 2 singles for Andrew today. He's also flied out twice. Goes after the first one, pops that one into left field. Gardner getting underneath. Leon back to tag. Gardner will fire in as the runner holds. And there are 2 down. And so it'll be up to Hanley and try and do a little more in this inning. Red Sox do have 2 runs across.
You saw Gardner get that ball in quick, right?
He did.
I mean, he knows he's aware of his surroundings. He knows who's on third. Butter being smart, knowing this is a long season. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to splurge on this game. We want to go ahead and keep everybody healthy.
So 2 gone. Hanley to climb in. He's 1 for 4 with a double. Still loaded up, but now 2 away.
Smith's done a good job. Base loaded situation. Made some good pitches. Not out of the woods, though.
High fly foul for strike 1 on Hanley. We'll stay right here after the 3rd out of this inning for a behind-the-scenes look at what happens in between innings. You just never know. Devers is on deck, but it's Leon, Bradley, and Holt on the bases. Hanley does have 7 career grand slams. One and 1.
They've been staying hard in on Hanley, which you don't think is the right approach considering the left field wall is so short. But like I said, there's so many scouting reports that you know, they might see something in there.
Kimbrel back up and throwing. Red Sox trying to bust it open here in the 8th. 1-2.
I don't know if you can see that or not, but Smith, after he threw that pitch, he looked at Sanchez and kind of told him, hey, again, let's throw that pitch again. And that's little things that, as a catcher, you got to be aware and pay attention to, because it saves time on having to worry about calling a pitch and shaking. So see if he throws it again.
Back to the hill. Smith will grab that and throw on to get him. We'll find out if this is enough. The Red Sox get 2 and now lead it 5-1 as we go to the 9th inning at Fenway. Don't go anywhere as we stay in the park.
Since 2002.
By Xfinity, Rick Porcello can pick up the win. If he does, that's going to be 4 straight. He allowed only 1 run, struck out 4. Sandy Leon's had a fine day. Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 for 3 with a triple and 3 runs batted in. John Farrell will bring on Craig Kimbrell here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the right move. A 4-run homer can tie the ball game. This has been a tight series. You had him loose and hot last inning anyways, so you go with your closer and you try and shut this game down.
Well, he recorded his 29th save, a perfect 9th inning on Friday with 3 swinging strikeouts. That required only 14 pitches.
It's normal for him though, right?
Yes, this season he has been pretty much beyond compare in the American League, and you'd have to say the National League Kenley Jansen has been in his class. Those 2 guys.
Oh, without a doubt. And both different type of pitchers as well. I mean, both power guys, but Jansen's got that cutter that's not an easy pitch to see and not an easy pitch to hit. And then Kimbrell just blows you away with some fastball and a nasty slider.
Quickly 0-2 on Gregorius. Long look in, and the 0-2 to the Yankee shortstop. Got a piece of it. 99 in on the hands.
Not fun in the shadows.
Kimbrell has made 7 consecutive scoreless appearances. And the 2-strike pitch. Day got underway with ceremonies to honor my partner Jerry Remy. Jerry Remy Day here at Fenway. 30 years in the NESN broadcast booth. As that one is downstairs. They do appeal and no swing. So 2-2. Sanchez on deck and then Headley. Two. Popped him up. Right side of the diamond. There's Brock Holt. And fighting the sun a little to make the catch. Let's go back to that pregame and Jerry Remy addressing the Fenway faithful.
I'm fully confident that I will be back in that booth next year for opening day when the Red Sox lift a pennant for another year. Thank you.
Well, I thought he sounded great and looked great.
I tell you, I had goosebumps during that whole speech.
You weren't alone, pal. Sanchez will take a strike. Jerry about to undergo a new phase. Chemotherapy starting this week. It's not something he's undergone before, but he looks strong. He feels strong, and as he said, he's ready to get after it and beat it.
He's a fighter. You know, he's definitely a fighter, and looks like he's got a great group of doctors around him. And
oh yeah.
Like I said, I've been honored to be able to fill in for him, and I hope I'm making him proud.
It's been a pleasure having you. Hope we can do some more with you.
Thank you. I hope so too.
I know eventually you're getting back down on the field.
And I'll wave at you guys. I'll remember. I'm not going to forget.
Not going to big league us?
No, of course not.
2 strikes on Sanchez. He's grounded to third, walked and flied to left. Red Sox have kept him quiet today, and that will continue. 99 to strike him out, and there are 2 gone in the Yankee ninth.
The old American fastball, up and in. Tough pitch for anybody to hit. That's what Kimbrel does so well.
Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. Adam and Tim will break it all down, and Rick Porcello start. He's in line for the win, whatever, whenever, wherever, who but WB Mason. So the Red Sox are 1 out away from winning a series once again from the Yankees.
It's a big series. Like we said earlier, you want to win every series. You try, and it's a 3-game series, 2 out of 3, but you got to focus 1 game at a time. You can't worry about the past. You can't worry about what's ahead of you. And that's what they've done today, and it showed.
With the win, the Sox would be back up to a 5-game lead over New York, heading for Cleveland. That's going to be a very tough series. Those 4 games with the Indians. Who knows, maybe the Sox and the Indians are once again on a crash course.
Definitely. It's going to be another starting rotation battle, and they got Andrew Miller back in the pen, so that's always nice for them.
The 1-1. A ball and 2 strikes on Headley. 1 more strike to get.
He finishes with the fastball like he has the past 2.
Foul tipped into the net, and the ball game is over. He strikes him out. Oh, so sweet for the Red Sox, as they have beaten the Yankees once again. The final score 5-1. Adam, another series victory, back-to-back weekends for the Red Sox, and a sweet way to leave town heading for Cleveland.